Hey everybody, so great to see you guys. I'm going to take a quick minute here. We're kind of in a different, I'm definitely in a different setting tonight. Let me go ahead and see if I can get my Bluetooth earbuds to connect here so my sound is a little bit better. We always want to, bring you the best sound that we can. I didn't hear them kick on there. You guys tell me how my sound is. Can you hear me okay? It is great to see everybody. William will be along shortly. He's taking care of the kids and, checking in and doing those fatherly things, which is entirely appropriate since Father's Day was Sunday. Let me turn it up just a little bit here. Let me make sure. Yeah, like I said, I'm kind of in a different, little different setup tonight. Oh, thanks, Brian. Okay, thank you so much, Brian. I appreciate that. Mandy, welcome in. It's good to see you. Got to chat a little bit with you on IG and really enjoyed that. Brian, always good to see you, buddy. We appreciate it. And I will be praying for your friend that you talked about. We'll definitely be doing that. But can y'all hear me okay? Hear me okay? Again, thank you. Thanks so much for being here, guys. We appreciate you. Dean is live streaming. He started his summer series, and he's interviewing some of our YouTube friends. Should be a great series for summer, guys. If I know that most of you are subscribed to Dean the Turkey Legster, but by all means, check out his channel and the series. Tonight he interviewed. I know he interviewed Cherie. Surfer Girl 326, and so by all means check those out. He's really does a great job with those live streams. So be sure and go over and say hi to Dean. Check out some of his shorts. He will be live streaming tomorrow, guys, from Magic Kingdom in the morning, and I think he's going to hop over to Epcot tomorrow afternoon and do another live stream. So maybe an hour a piece. I'm not sure, but at any rate, that's tomorrow. So y'all watch for those two live streams. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit that notification bell for Dean. By all means, do it. Again, thank you so much for being here, and thanks everybody for all we got. Jeff got some really cool Father's Day wishes, and so did William. And happy Father's Day to my boys, to my husband Jeff, and all of you there who are fathers. You are so special to us, and I hope that if your father is still alive, that you made it a special day for him. I lost my father when I was young, and so I would really give anything to give him a hug and tell him how much he means to me. And a lot of you, have lost your dad. So my heart goes out to you. But if you still have your dad, I hope you had a good day, and hope all you fathers, you're so important to us. And we love you so much for all that you do for our families. It's a lot of work being a dad. So we appreciate it. Jason, hey, welcome in. Happy birthday. Got a happy birthday coming up. Happy Father's Day, Jason. It's good to see you. Very close. Oh, well, Brian, thank you so much. Dean is interviewing Dean from the Live Place. So that's Dean is always a really good interview. He's a fascinating man. He, we always try to plug the Live Place because Dean does such a good job over there. It's simply a YouTube TV guide of family-friendly live streams that happen all the time. So if you're looking, if you're got some time and you think, I wonder if anybody is live and you're wanting a family-friendly live stream, you can go to liveplace.com, and you can even search. It's not just Disney content, y'all. So he has other topics as well. So check out the liveplace.com. We appreciate Dean so much for listing us over there, and all of our YouTube friends. He does a great job. So, okay. So, Brian, your dad will be coming to the Pacific Northwest on the 10th. Excellent. Excellent. So you get to see him. That's great. I thank you, Brian. That's very sweet of you. Oh, gotcha. Oh, okay, Jason. Okay. Anyway, happy Father's Day to all of our dads out there. We appreciate you and love you very much. William had a nice Father's Day. Jeff and I were able to attend church with him and Jillian and the boys, and we really had a great day. We had dinner afterwards, so just a fun Father's Day. I did also want to mention that our good friend Keith, a big Disney fan, and I may have mentioned this last week. I don't have my train whistle, but I did want to wish Keith a happy birthday again. Keith, big Disney fan. He has a YouTube channel, and y'all can check that out. But he is such a friend to our channel, and he is generally here in the chat. He may be in a little bit later, but I was a guest on his celebration live stream last Sunday, or it was actually last Tuesday night before our live stream. So check that out and check out he does a lot of fun stuff, has a lot of fun guests. Keith, big Disney fan, and we wanted to wish him happy birthday again. Last week on Hitchhiker Chat, we did a recap of our Walt Disney World trip. So be sure and check that out. We did the week before, we did Epic Universe and our impressions of Epic Universe, Universal Studios newly opened park, and what we did, and our impressions of the food, and all the things, the security procedures and parking. We tried to include a little bit of everything in our impressions and kind of give you some things to go on in case you're planning a trip anytime soon, and what we thought of Epic Universe. So by all means, check that out. That was a fun live stream. And of course, last week, the recap of our Walt Disney World trip, which is always fun for us. Also, happy Flag Day. Happy Flag Day, and happy 250th birthday to the U.S. Army. My goodness, guys, I heard, oh, hey, Tina, welcome in. Oh, the Adventure Lees, there you go. Adventure Lees are on Dean's channel. Oh, no problem. No problem, Tina. It's kind of a busy night for all of us. I'm kind of, coming in late too. But at any rate, happy Flag Day, y'all, and big time happy 250th birthday to our United States Army. We had an army before we had a country. Y'all, we don't celebrate our country's 250th anniversary till next year. And we have a country because we first had an army. My dad was an Army veteran. Jeff's elder brother, Junior, whom we're visiting tonight, that we're in Alabama tonight. That's the reason I have a different background in a little bit different place. But, we want to shout out to all of our great Army servicemen and women who keep us safe. And it's just a pleasure. Again, my dad, was a veteran of World War II in the Army. And so that's kind of near and dear to my heart. I was really glad to see us celebrate that anniversary, for the Army, because they don't get as much a celebration as some of the other branches of the service. We're thankful for all of them. But it was kind of fun to see all the posts on social media, and know that my dad was a veteran of World War II in the Army. So happy 250th birthday, Army, and thank you for all you do. Go Army. Go Army. Let's see, guys, what else I had in the notes. Let's do this day in Disney history. Tina, is my sound still good, y'all? I think my sound's still good. And we will be along in just a minute. Let's go ahead and do this day in Disney history. And I'm just going to read through. There wasn't a whole lot tonight. I'm just going to read through some of these. Disney's Mickey Mouse cartoon, Mickey's Mechanical Man, directed by Wilfred Jackson and featuring the music of Lee Harline, is released. So that was in 1933. Wow, 1933. 1938, Disney's Donald Duck cartoon Polar Trappers is released. Now, I did not check ahead of time to see if any of these are on Disney Plus, but you can look for them. That's Mickey's Mechanical Man and Disney's Donald Duck was in this one, Polar Trappers, in 1938. So y'all check for those, and I may check for them too. I love those old classic, Disney cartoons are amazing, and a lot of them are on Disney Plus. So let's see. In 1946, happy birthday to singer, songwriter, arranger, and producer Barry Manilow. He was born Barry Allen Pincus in Brooklyn, New York. His song "Perfect Isn't Easy" was performed by Bette Midler in Disney's 1988 animated feature Oliver and Company. Manilow's career achievements include sales of more than 76 million records worldwide. That's amazing. And there's an animated title of an animated feature that you haven't heard in a while, Oliver and Company. Very underrated. And I had totally forgotten, y'all. This is why I love to do Disney history, because it puts me in mind, a lot of times of things that I haven't watched in a while, and it's good stuff. I did not remember that Bette Midler had sung for Oliver and Company, that she had that Disney connection. There's so many, actors, singers, songwriters that do, but I didn't remember that. So Oliver and Company. Happy birthday to Barry Manilow. Let's see what else is here. 1963. Happy birthday to actor and producer Greg Kinnear, who is really he's one of my favorite actors. I always enjoy him in pretty much anything he does. His Disney credits include the 2006 Invincible as head coach Dick Vermeil, and the 2010 The Last Song, who was Steve Miller in that. Kinnear also appeared in a 2012 episode of ABC's Modern Family, so he does have some Disney ties. Let's see what else we've got here. In 1972, y'all realize how long it's been since 1972? Yikes! The Main Street Electrical Parade kicked off at Disneyland for the very first time. The floats included the Blue Fairy, Casey Jr. Circus Train, Alice in Wonderland, Chinese Dragon, Dumbo Circus, Cinderella's Ball, It's a Small World, and the American Finale. Now, that American Finale, guys, if y'all remember that float, it was huge, and it was just gorgeous. I absolutely love that float. It was a salute to America. It was amazing. The float that was the wrap up for the original Main Street Electrical Parade. Just incredible. So we really missed that one. Let's see if there's anything else good here. Let's see. I think that may be about it. In 2002, authentic memorabilia from the estate of Elvis Presley and exclusive VIP vacation experiences to Elvis Week in Memphis, commemorating the 25th anniversary of Elvis's death, are auctioned at Disney Auctions from this day through July 4th. The auction surrounds the June 21st nationwide release of Disney's Lilo and Stitch, an animated comedy. Of course, you'll know Lilo and Stitch, and the character Lilo, and Stitch both are crazy for Elvis and his music. So I love that. That was in 2002. So yeah, that's part of Lilo and Stitch that I absolutely love, y'all. Let's see what else we've got. I think that's about it. In 2005, The fifth of 6 Star Wars weekends begins at Disney, Disney MGM Studios. Again, Disney, hey Disney, please bring those back. Bring back Star Wars weekends. We probably need to start a petition, right? I would love to see them bring back Star Wars weekends. Loved them, loved them. In 2016, Finding Dory, 3D computer animated comedy adventure film produced by Pixar Animation. Remember that one? It was a sequel to Finding Nemo, was released on this day. So, at any rate, some good stuff there. In 2021, if we want to think about this one, Disneyland Paris reopened for a second time after nearly 7 hours of closure due to COVID-19. So Disneyland Paris and some of the overseas parks really kind of were up and down with COVID. It was a tough time for all of us, of course. But and I think that's it. As far as this day in Disney history. Let's see, Jillian Travels. Hey, John and Nancy. Welcome in. Welcome in. Brian, does anybody know what the plural for Elvis is? I think it's okay. So Elvi, Elvises, Elvises. I think it's Elvises. I'll go with B, Elvises. It's great to see to see you, John and Nancy. Good to see you. Thanks for popping in, Jonathan. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, y'all. Let's jump into this. As I said, I think William is supposed to be in at some point, but we won't wait on him. We'll go ahead and get this thing going. We're going to talk a little bit tonight about. There's so much going on, y'all, at Disney. I mean, there's always a lot going on, but this is like physical park stuff. And so, plural, there's more than one. Elvis impersonators, maybe, Tina? Elvises, Elvi. That's a legit question, Brian. I think it's a legit question. Oh my goodness. The plural of Elvis is the king. There you go, Dave. There you go. Dave's got it. The Kings, right? I love that. I love it. So we are going to talk a little bit, guys, about and I know I'm going to miss something. We're in Alabama tonight. We are visiting Jeff's family, and so I'm out of my natural habitat, and so I got, there's William. We got, did some of this on the fly, but we wanted to talk a little bit about all the things that, because so many people, who don't keep up with Disney like we do, are not aware of all the closures and the things that are happening, the re-themes. There's a lot going on, but they have some good stuff coming as well. So we wanted to talk a little bit about that tonight. I do not have a slideshow, but we'll kind of return to that next week if we need to. Muppet Vision 3D, y'all. Moment of silence for Muppet Vision 3D. Its last day of operation was on June the 7th. Muppet Vision 3D, Pizza Rizzo, and the rest of Muppet's Courtyard there at Hollywood Studios have permanently closed. We've got other construction projects coming. They're retheming that whole area. They're closing off that whole area to be Monsters Inc. land. And so, as much as I love Monsters Inc., and I do, especially the Monsters Inc. ride at Disneyland is so cute, y'all. And I love the laugh floor in Magic Kingdom. I love all that. I truly wish that they would have left this area alone, especially since Muppet Vision 3D was Jim Henson's very last major project before he passed. But I wish that they had left this area alone and just expanded, giving us a true expansion where they put Monsters Inc. Lab, which would have been amazing, on new property. Give us an actual expansion, not just a retheme. So to start with a positive, it looks like Muppet Vision 3D received a glorious 13-hour finale. They really went all out with this one, I think, because of Jim Henson. And they sent off, the attraction mostly on a high note. But I kind of followed on social media, and kind of said my final farewells to it. We do have up a live stream of Muppet Vision 3D, and I love Muppet Vision 3D. That was one that I really enjoyed. The theater was amazing, and I loved when Sweetums came out. It was absolutely amazing. So at any rate, let's see. Let me catch up in chat here. Hi, Robert. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. You actually know, Dave, you actually know an Elvis impersonator? Wow, that's really cool. That is so cool. Oh, man. Yeah. I always told Jeff, when we, seems like when the kids were young and we would go on vacation, one of the things that we always said, our vacations were not complete without at least one Elvis sighting. I mean, we always saw Elvis. So, I don't know. No, if it was the king, some doubt that he's gone, y'all. So I don't know if it was actually he or not. But that's pretty cool that an Elvis impersonator. It's good to see, Robert. Thanks for being in here. Let me catch up here. Jonathan, you have a friend who does the voice of Kermit in Canada. That's wow, that's amazing. I'd like to hear more about that. That is pretty cool. Brian, they did that whole area. Everything there. Pizza Rizzo, that Mama Melrose's, they've everything's gone there. They're retheming it. So, yeah. So, okay. Now, Tina, I heard the same rumors that Muppets 3D might go to where the new villain show is. So, I didn't realize that it was not. So it's not getting good reviews. I heard that it was good, Tina. Well, the first couple of, interesting. So what have y'all heard about it? What have y'all read? The first few reviews that I read said that people really liked it. Now, I did see that they don't have very many live actors in it. They have like 4 live actors in the whole show. Maybe that's the deal. And it was kind of interesting to me that they put a villain show where Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy used to be. It's over there, on the other side of Tower of Terror, when they're putting in a villain's land in Magic Kingdom. So I was a little confused by that. Disney has really blurred their theming lines, from park to park here recently. So, so what else? So what else are y'all hearing? Oh, oh, really, Robert? Oh my goodness! Yeah, goodness. He's like, okay, cool. Yeah, I know. That was the rumor. Yeah, so I don't. Yeah, now, Tina, I have not seen it. It actually opened while we were at Disney a couple of weeks ago, but we were in a different park that day. And of course, y'all know I was with a group, and so I wasn't free to, like park hop and run around like I normally would, or I would have probably gone over and seen it and probably live streamed it. But so Tina says she hasn't seen the actual reviews, but that was the rumor. Yeah, where the Lightning McQueen show was. Okay, yeah, interesting. So we'll have to kind of look into it a little bit more. Now, I have heard rumors too, guys, that they were going to do that they might move Muppet Vision 3D. If they put, that's the next piece of news. They're putting, they're retheming Rock and Roller Coaster, which is Aerosmith themed currently and has been ever since it opened in Hollywood studios. They're retheming that to Muppets. So to retheme that to Muppets and then make that, that area behind Tower Muppet Vision 3D would be really interesting, wouldn't it? So yeah. Oh, okay.
Hello.
Hey, are you not?
I've been backstage for 11 minutes now.
Oh, but I thought you could join on your own. Yeah, I was waiting for you to come in.
No,
I'm sorry.
No, I had to log in using the email. Well, there's nothing I could do. I don't think you could see me, because for whatever reason. But yeah, I had to join through irregular means. I ended up streaming with my new phone instead of the old one. And my new phone's not. Yeah, it's not all logged into everything, and so. But that's how I could get in.
Gotcha. Okay.
But
well, I'm sorry. I kept waiting for you to come.
Yeah, no, I've been in the back for 12 minutes, and then of course my laptop's jammed up, so I had, I guess I could have run back in to grab my other phone, but my laptop's jammed up. I was going to log on my computer and chat, but I got onto it, and then and my Chrome is not responding. And so, anyway, it's been a comedy errors. The other bad part is I can't see the chat at all because I'm joined through a Gmail window, and so I can't see the chat at all. I'll do what I can to try and remedy that, but it's a bit of a pickle right now. Hello, everyone. Technology is not my friend tonight. To quote Mr. Potato Head from Toy Story 3, you would not believe what I've been through tonight. As he makes his way, he's a tortilla, and then he's a tortilla, and he's a cucumber, and so anyway, from a technological perspective, and the other thing, trying to get my backdrop somewhat organized was also a mess, and so I've been fighting. Yeah. Thanks, Brian. That'll give you give you such a crick in the neck.
That's right.
But I for anybody that's been going for a while, I am at least out of the closet. Granted, my desk, and my backdrop needs work, but anyway, we'll make do. Like I said, technology has not been my friend this evening, and so I'm just thankful to finally be a part of this chat. The other part too is that because of all this, I have no show notes currently up. I'll do the best I can. My laptop moves at a snail's pace, and so I'll do the best I can.
You should be able to get the show notes up just in time for the closing credits.
Right. And so I'll always do my best to write everybody's name.
We can tonight. We apologize, guys, for the. We'll try to get our act together next week. Again, I'm out of pocket. Not in my normal setting either. But anyway, guys know we enjoyed talking
bear
to
with
you.
Us. And we still got a lot of fun stuff to cover. So just bear with us from a technological perspective. I don't know how you had everything laid out. If you want me to do some show and tell or what.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Great. We'll check. Yeah. Go ahead.
So I have a small army of Jawas over my shoulder here.
Jawa sippers. These are so
sippers.
cute. Okay, I showed him these last week.
Yeah.
I did not realize until I pushed that button on last week's show that they talk.
And so you can turn
Oh my God.
you turn the eyes on.
Jason.
I won't spend a long time on this since Mom showed you all last week. But there's the zipper comes out the hood.
Really cute. Yeah.
Yeah, which is super neat. And then
it's adorable.
Just the detail that they put into the lanyard is also incredible.
Yeah. It's a nice heavy plastic too.
Yeah.
Plastic
You see them hold the little part there, but yeah, this is one of the most detailed zippers I feel like they've ever done. And
it's great.
And so anyway, I have 3 of these. One of these is for one of our good friends. One of these is for us, and the other one is for a buddy of mine that lives out in Georgia. That's a member of the 501st, and his wife has a Jawa, outfit that she wears too. And so I was like, they gotta have one of these.
That's fun. He's a member of the 501st. That's really cool.
Yeah, he actually just submitted. He actually just did a Boba Fett build. So he followed. He followed all of their, and supposedly Boba's one of the hardest that they can do that you can, try to pass, muster.
Right.
Apparently Boba's one of the toughest, costumes to design. And so actually,
cool.
so I don't know if I can technically share this or not. But anyway, they did a Star Wars episode on a show called Lego Masters, which I haven't watched. I haven't actually watched it looks like a lot of fun. I just hadn't watched the show yet. They did a Star Wars show, and they had stormtroopers, and they had Darth Vader on the show, and he's contractually obligated. I don't know if that extends. I don't know if that extends to me or not, but he may or may not have been on that show as one of the stormtroopers.
Robert said you look like a blueberry.
Oh,
he
thanks.
He thought you were wearing a Blue Jays hat.
That's funny.
Definitely.
No, that's Mickey.
That's a neat hat.
Yeah, I don't.
Mickey.
Yeah, but anyway, he may or may not have been one of the stormtroopers featured on that show. That episode of Lego Masters with Will Arnett as the host. So anyway, he's done lots of cool stuff, and so I felt obligated to get one of these. I'll send it to them in the mail.
Oh they'll be proud of it.
And here's Miss Tilly from Typhoon Lagoon with this zipper.
Wow.
So
where did you get that one? I haven't seen that.
At Typhoon Lagoon. So this is the ship that sits. This is the park icon essentially for Typhoon Lagoon.
Yeah. Wow.
And so anyway, we went. It was our first time ever to a Disney water park. It was Typhoon Lagoon. See, what we did was we booked a Sunday through a Saturday. Or Sunday, actually, it was a Sunday through Friday. We booked it at a Caribbean beach resort. Had a blast, and I'll talk more about that later. But one of the specials and one of the big perks of staying on property in 2025 is on your check-in day, you can pick one of the Blizzard Beach or Typhoon Lagoon and go check out the water park for free. It's included in the cost of your stay.
Yeah, it's a new park for people staying on property.
And so we did Typhoon Lagoon and had a lot of fun. We hung out. I'm not sure. We probably hung out. I've got it in my notes, but we probably hung out from. That's the other part is you don't want to get sunburnt and miserable on the very first day of your trip.
Right.
And so, on check-in day. And so anyway, we probably stayed from maybe somewhere between 10 or 11 to like 4.
Yeah. Yeah,
which,
that's still a good
yeah,
while.
it took Wesley a while to warm up to it.
Uh-huh.
But he really got to where he enjoyed the lazy river. We tried to go to
Nice.
the kids. There's a little kids area. The name escapes me. I've got all this in my notes on my phone, but the name escapes me. Ketchikiddee Creek is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so we tried to take Wesley over there to see if he might like anything. Well, first thing in the morning, he didn't like anything. And so it
Ah.
took it. We had to get in the lazy river for a while to get
Mm-hmm.
him to warm up to it, and then he was really enjoying himself.
Yeah.
But anyway, I got White to go on one of the slides with me. We didn't cover a lot.
Two.
We weren't able to cover a lot of ground just because trying to ease the boys into it, and
Right.
it
Right.
was new to us, and so we didn't cover a ton of ground. But we would definitely love to go back,
Yeah.
um, and check it out again, and then give it another crack and check out some more of the slides.
Yeah.
Definitely, if you get, my advice would be to get there early. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because we actually, I said 10 or 11, we rope dropped it. We were there. And they, let everybody move over to part of the park, and essentially, and then released everybody from there. So we were there for rope drop that day.
So they
Um,
open at 10 then?
I think
They
so.
open
I'd
at
have to
10?
double check it, but
Uh-huh.
I can't confirm we were there
Uh-huh.
for rope drop. But anyway, got
Oh,
this
that's
Miss
neat.
Chili
Yeah.
sipper. It's super cool. Um,
Yeah, that
let's
is neat.
see.
It's a good
Next
one.
up, we got the Clone Trooper popcorn bucket helmet. So they did the first order Stormtrooper reclaimed helmet. This is the Clone Trooper helmet. Um, it opens up from the bottom here, just like the. Really, I think it's intended to be carried. Really, I think it's kind of intended to be carried more so like, well, I think it's
Mm-hmm.
if it's weighted down, I think it's meant to actually be carried like this to keep your popcorn from falling out.
Right, right.
I saw a very
Yeah,
funny interaction. Let's see here. I saw a
that's
very
an
funny interaction.
now.
Oh, it's super
Go ahead.
cool. The details are
That is
super
neat.
neat. It's got dents and it's scuffed up, and
Mm-hmm.
um let's see. I think I
So
may have.
William, they released the reclaimed helmet
Hmm.
last year. Is
Yeah,
that a heavier plastic?
it does to me. Granted, I'd have to get them both next to each other, but
Right.
it's still just a little bit thin. But it definitely feels heavier than the other one,
Mm-hmm. Okay. Because that was my
just by a
complaint
little
with
bit.
the reclaimed stormtrooper helmet was fantastic. That popcorn bucket was
Uh huh.
was really cool, but it was the plastic was kind of thin on it, and we're
Uh
not
huh.
used to those being to being that thin. So I was hoping that one would be thicker. So, and I didn't get that one. I got I showed you guys last week. If you want to see my merch haul, I have the Death Star popcorn bucket and that Jawa sipper that Steven or that William just showed you. So, yeah. Any more merch?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've got much more to show. I'm trying to kill the audio on my laptop. It finally caught up so I can see comments, but
Gotcha. Oh, hey,
but
hey,
I'm
hey.
trying to kill.
Welcome in.
It takes forever. So I'm gonna mute myself in just a second. You can talk. Just let me
Gotcha.
kill it. Hold on. You go ahead and talk while I try to
Gotcha.
kill it.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, okay. Yeah. So last week, I showed you all of my merch haul from Walt Disney World, and we recapped our trip and what have you. And so check that out if you want to see that. I've got a lot of really cool merch. There were a couple of pieces that I didn't show you that I don't have here because obviously I'm in Alabama, not Texas. But I
Yeah.
will try to pull those out and
Last but
show you. Oh yeah, there it is.
we got 2 Death Stars.
Oh,
I
this is
haven't I
guys.
haven't
This
even
I love this.
pulled the. So I must say that a funny story about one of these Death Stars. I brought what 3. So I looked. That's the other thing is carrying all this really cool stuff around. You kind of feel and look ridiculous. I whenever so oh geez. I tell you what, I'm up against it tonight.
Bless your heart, hon.
Good grief.
That's no moon.
Yeah, that's no moon. And it's kind of funny that just happened because of the story I'm about to tell. I'm standing there in line. I had gone in basically exclusively to good grief. Good heavens. I'm on the struggle bus tonight. I had gone in to get
Bless
merch.
your heart.
Can you still hear me okay?
I can.
Okay, good deal. I had basically gone in to exclusively get merch for folks. And so I ran into Hollywood Studios. I wanted to do Rock and Roller Coaster because I wasn't sure when they're going to close it.
Right.
And so I wanted to do Rock and Roller Coaster. So I did single rider Rock and Roller Coaster. We had to get merch for friends.
Mm-hmm.
And
now, do you want to go ahead and show them what that does?
Yeah, let me look them both over real quick. Because one of these is ours and one of these is for a friend, and I've not pulled the tab on either one of them.
Oh, gotcha. We don't have to. I showed them last week, but this is really cool, and I'm glad. I thank you so much for picking it up for me, William, because I have the Millennium Falcon. I mean, the Tina, it's they're just ridiculous.
Go back and watch a demo of last week because I'm gonna have to break out a screwdriver and open this up because I pulled the tab just now and it broke off. Because nothing is going my way this evening.
Okay, let's just don't touch anything else. Just don't touch anything else.
Back to my story is I had two of these on me, and I think a Jawa and two of these on me, and and these straps come undone, right? And so this thing's a ball.
I do.
And so I'm standing there in line for Woody's lunchbox to get Jillian and the boys Pop-Tarts, lunchbox Pop-Tarts to take back to the room. These things are balls. And so the only flat surface is on the bottom.
Right.
And so one of these jokers came undone, and somebody in Toy Story Land had to catch it because it started rolling. It was rolling. And it's so funny because it got. I'm just knocking everything off. But anyway, it started rolling.
Just a disclaimer, folks, we're usually a lot more organized than
this. But anyway,
we're just having a hard time tonight.
It hit and rolled. And it rolled probably a good 3 or 4 feet, and somebody else scooped it up real quick. And the person behind me said, "Man, they should have put some sort of like platform or something on the bottom, in the event that happened." And then one of the people in front of me said, "Yeah, that's some design flaw." I said, "Yeah, apparently the exhaust ports weren't the only thing."
Exactly. Oh, he scores.
And so that was pretty fun, and they made a lot of it. Everybody was super cool. But other stuff, without trying to destroy everything in arm's reach. Let's see if I could show, accident free for the rest of everything I have to show you. So I got a collection of Oga's Cantina coasters. That one's got an Ewok on it. This one has a cool flag on it, which I'll have to do some more homework on these. Yeah. This one's got a couple of, it looks like Gamorrean Guard axes.
Nice.
Is what that looks like to me.
Seen all of these.
And then a Rancor.
I have the Rancor.
Yeah, and they gave me 2 of each, so the rest are dupes. Actually, there's a Bantha. I don't think I showed a Bantha yet. But they gave me 2 of each, which is super cool.
That is neat, yeah. Those are fun to have.
I guess maybe I only got one of the Bantha. I think I only got one of the Bantha now that I look.
Oh, Tina. Spoiler alert.
Oh, wow, congratulations.
I kind of expected that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. They got a fantastic team. They would if the Stars had gotten past the Oilers. I mean, Florida's just incredibly built right now.
Yeah, they're breaking all this year.
Everybody, hopefully, I can do this one accident free. because I'm a sucker for cool drinks and cups and stuff. And I'll have to look this up. This actually has this is in Mandalorian alphabet. So there's Arabesh, and that's usually what you see Star Wars language in. But this is actually Mandalorian, and so I'll have to look this up and report back to you what the back of this mug says. But here's the front of the Mythosaur mug. That's currently
It
Oga's
says
Cantina.
something like the Mandalore Creed or
Wouldn't surprise me.
Mythosaur Legend.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, it is so cool. It looks like it's like etched into a boulder with it. It's like they excavated the Mythosaur skull from a boulder.
Yeah.
And it is
I bought one of these too, by the way.
Super cool. Again, I'm a sucker for cool drinkware. Yeah. And it says first edition on the bottom here. So if they end up bringing it back or something like that, mine's first edition. And so are my other Oga's Cantina cups. So that, big fan of that. Let's put this back in the box, accident free. Sorry.
Yeah, and that's ceramic. That is ceramic. That is not plastic.
And it's heavy. It's very nice. It's heavy and very nice. And let's not mess it up. So Wyatt, me and Wyatt, Jillian and Wesley went back to the room, and me and Wyatt went to go rest with Wesley so they could come back to the park later. And so me and Wyatt went back into the park with just the two of us to go to Oga's, and he decided he wanted this cup. And we did this trip a little bit bigger than we normally do because Wyatt graduated from kindergarten and we wanted to celebrate. Mm-hmm. But he got the Loftcat mug.
Oh yeah, that was cute.
And it's really neat. Anybody that's a fan of Star Wars Rebels or has watched the Ahsoka show has seen a Loftcat. I think I saw some shows introducing loaf kittens, I believe, and they look adorable. I'm trying to remember what show it is, but I want to say it's upcoming. But this also is first edition as well. But Wyatt saw it and liked it. He's seen a few episodes of Star Wars Rebels, and so he could appreciate the Loftcat. But let me also put this away.
Just looking that up, William, that phrase that's on the back, it says the phrase is from an old Mandalorian drinking song.
Oh, cool.
Let's see. It says Disney. Let's see if I can find. It says, "We never care who wins the war, so you can keep your fame."
Okay.
Let's see. I think that's what it says. It's from a. I was thinking it was something a little loftier, personally.
Yeah.
Like a
something else fun, because everybody needs one of these. Wesley wanted this bucket of 25 small aliens. Thanks, Dean. This is a bucket. You've heard of a bucket of Green Army men. This is a bucket of green aliens.
Hey, Lucy Grace, welcome in.
And so, in honor of Wesley's favorite ride, Wesley had really enjoyed It's a Small World, but he loved Aliens Swirling Saucers. So we have a bucket full of.
It's a good ride. Oh, how fun!
And I just lost one.
Careful.
So there's 24 aliens in this now since I dropped one.
That is so much fun.
All right.
That's neat. That's cool. Alien Swirling Saucers is a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I like it. But it's especially fun for kids because it's just so yeah. It's the design of the ride is tons of fun.
Let's see what else.
So Lucy Grace, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you.
So I got this from the Canada Pavilion because I like hockey. These are coasters.
Oh, nice.
I wish it wasn't. I wish it was everything. Is it mirrored on your side too? I hate that. I wish I could flip my mirror there. I hate that.
No, we can read it. We can read it. Yeah.
Can you read it?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not mirrored.
Okay, good.
We can read it. Yeah.
It showed us. Yeah. Is it mirrored now, or is it still regular now?
No, it's still regular.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
We can read it just fine.
But there's Goofy and Mickey, and there's Canada Hockey, Silky Mitts, Greasy Glows, Canada. It's got the little Canada symbol and maple leaf down there to the bottom.
Really cute.
And then Rink Rats Hockey Club, Epcot World Showcase Canada with Mickey. And then on the back, you got Donald's Destroyers Hockey Club.
Oh, that's fun.
Shots on Net, Pucks in Deep. And then you have Chippendale Ice Hockey Tournament.
Yeah. Congrats to Florida, who just won a Stanley Cup. I kind of expected them to win, actually.
Yeah. I thought these are really neat.
Yeah.
And they have some obviously some cool hockey related stuff. And the Canada Pavilion. This is Nubs from Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures.
He's cute. He's cute. Now that came from Galaxy's Edge. Did that come from?
Yeah, the Toydarian toy maker.
Yeah. It looked like that's what it looked like.
Wyatt rode Flight of Passage for the first time, and Jillian felt that he should have something to commemorate it. So here's a Navi Pandora dagger light up. He has a staff, but I think one of his cousins kind of broke it. And so we taped it up, but I think it's packed away. Obviously we've moved. And Wesley also, another ride Wesley really enjoyed was the Three Caballeros. And so Wesley picked this out himself. And it's the Three Caballeros, and it says Mexico there on the front of the boat.
That is so cute.
We left them. We left them all in. If they ever retheme this ride, we'll at least have this merch to commemorate it.
Aww.
But Wesley really wanted it, and he's had a lot of fun. He's continued to play with it since we moved. We've not taken out the little plastic pieces that are holding them in.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, but yeah, Wesley wanted that, and so we got it. Here's something else cute for Wesley. I got this in Animal Kingdom, close to Killian. Yeah, a little Simba. He's got magnetic hands, so you can put him on stuff. I've got a Goofy one that I've had. It's no telling how many years now.
That holds on to stuff. Is he like is he similar to a Park Pal?
Yeah, very similar to Park Pal, but they're plushy and not plastic.
Really cute.
Very cute. And then we got a little Stitch. Lilo and Stitch, the live action movie came out recently. Wyatt's seen it with relatives, but we haven't seen it yet.
I have not seen it yet. Has anybody in chat, have y'all seen Lilo and Stitch yet? I have not. I want to go see it. Also, I want to see Mission Impossible.
Here's a Goofy. So this Goofy had, and this is Wesley's, at Disney Ever After at Disney Springs, you can create your own ear headband. So you can pick 2 characters or 3 or as many as you could possibly fit on a headband, without them falling off or weighing your head down too much. I think I've seen 3 or 4 maybe. I for sure I saw somebody wearing 3 on a headband.
Yeah,
but
they're really cute.
Yeah, but the way they work, it's just a little Velcro strap, and it's a character head. And they have a fun selection. At Disney Ever After Disney Springs, they had Figment, but they did not have the Orange Bird. And so, but I saw the Orange Bird at Epcot in their big store.
Okay.
And so,
those are cute. The headbands are cute.
But yeah, Wesley wanted Goofy. Wyatt got Wyatt got a Stormtrooper and an Ewok for his headband, and Jillian got Donald and Daisy Duck for hers.
Nice.
And I'll show them at a later date. Last but not least, and I'm sure there's stuff I'm missing. Anybody on social media that followed the closing of Muppet Vision saw that the line for the smushed pennies was like super long.
Mm-hmm.
Let me reassure you, whenever I got it 2 days beforehand, roughly 2 or 3 days before, I had no line.
Wow, nice.
And so we've got a couple of sets of the Muppet Vision 3D
nice.
press pennies.
Press pennies.
Mom, I was going to say, did you go on a previous trip and bring us back some too?
I believe so. Yes.
So we may have 3 sets then.
They may have 3 sets. Yeah.
I'd have to double check my drawer.
Yeah. Right.
Wyatt also built another lightsaber at Star Tours,
nice.
which Wyatt was the rebel spy. Which I'll talk. We'll go into more trip details next week, maybe. More individual trip details, so I can have time to gather myself without destroying everything in sight. But I have at least shown you the cool stuff. But here's Wyatt's lightsaber. It's blue.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it's cool.
We'll go. Yeah, obviously, it's neat. You make it easy to exit the Star Tours. One of these days we'll do a legitimate one, but for now, with Wyatt being as young as he is, and especially his little brother being as young as he is, we we don't want to drop that kind of coin on something we might potentially end up breaking.
Right. Right.
So anyway,
probably was. They very was.
I'm sure there's some other stuff too but that's everything within arm's reach, and you can see how well everything's gone for me so far tonight. So I'd rather not, out of the interest of not breaking anything, we can press on with the rest of the show, and that'll conclude the show and tell for tonight. I do have a pack of Lorcana. My setup may just spontaneously combust if we end up opening this tonight, but it's here. I don't know if you grabbed one or not.
Gotcha. But I did not. I don't think I have any Lorcana cards.
Yeah.
So and I haven't seen Alex and Charlie and Lily in the chat, so I don't know if they come in a little bit late and they want us to open yours. I opened one pack last week. I was by myself and I wasn't going to do it, but Charlie really wanted me to open one, so I did open one pack last week. But
I said that was everything, and I was wrong. Let's see if I can pull this off without everything blowing up. So give me a second.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah. Wow.
Wyatt. Wow. Yeah. So Wyatt, he rode.
This mask is really cool.
Yeah, he rode Cosmic Rewind, and it's interesting too. Let me do this without knocking everything over. But there's a little piece right here. Obviously these lenses are red. But there's a little piece right here. If you just want to see out the holes without the lens,
changes them to right.
Yeah. So you can see a little bit better.
Yeah.
Wyatt took some really cool pictures. Yeah, Wyatt took some really cool pictures with the Xandarian ship out in front of Cosmic Rewind. And then he took some really cool pictures with
Jonathan, you never know what we're gonna do.
With the Groot topiary.
Yeah. Oh, that mask is really neat.
Yeah.
It's legit.
Yeah.
It is really neat.
And the other thing is it talks.
Yeah, that is Yeah, it does. That's well, that's what Star Lord's mask looks like. It does look,
Yeah.
it does look kind of. Yeah, I always thought Star Lord's mask was kind of strange, but that's what it looks
Uh-huh.
like. Yeah, I'm
But
amazed that it fits you, William.
yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Because it fits Wyatt really well, also. But I guess there's
yeah.
just it's stretchy enough.
Right.
But
Cool.
anyway, super cool. Wyatt
Yeah, it
loved
is.
it. He got some good pictures with the group topiary. Um, but uh, but anyway,
That's not.
it
Yeah,
was
those are cute pictures that y'all took.
uh-huh.
Really cute pictures that you took. So we
Well,
talked a
with him
little
wearing
bit
the mask,
there.
we may actually share some next week, maybe. Um,
Yeah.
since
Well, we
he's got
talked
his
a little
mask
bit,
on.
about the Muppet Vision 3D closing. We kind of covered that, and that
What was it?
we're gonna
Jim
have.
Henson's daughter was the last person admitted
She was,
that night.
which was really cool. And her Heather Henson, guys, that was the neat thing about it. We were talking a little bit about that with the press penny machine, and of course, everybody wanting to get the souvenirs as they could. But they really did a good job. Sending off this, I guess, is out of respect for Jim Henson, and the last person to enter, the last guest to enter was Heather Henson, who is Jim Henson's daughter. So, really, really cool. Our friend of the community, John DeCure, said that his dad actually worked on Muppet Vision 3D, and he remembers as a child, or a young man, like sitting on the stage, while Jim Henson was there, while they were, setting it all up and everything, which is pretty cool. So
Yeah, that's
I
incredible.
thought that was really neat. We may try to have John on at some point and interview him about that. But we will definitely miss Muppet Vision 3D. I do have, I think, just the one live stream of it up on the channel, but the whole area, Pizza Rizzo and the rest of Muppets Courtyard, have permanently closed, and they will be retheming it. Again, they're theming that to Monsters Inc. Land, and then the Muppets will move to Rock and Roller Coaster, which I'm not thrilled about. I don't. You've got over in that area, you have Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster, and those are kind of the adult rides, if you will. And I think, hello, Not So Famous Animations.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Welcome
being
in,
here.
not so famous
Yeah.
animations. I had seen floating around on social media that they talked about adding Muppet Vision. That Muppet Vision 3D was filmed with VR cameras, and so they've talked about offering it through some sort of VR means.
Mhm. Mhm.
Frankly, I think once the Villains Land opens at Magic Kingdom, I think you nuke the villain show and move Muppet 3D over there, Muppet Vision 3D,
Mhm.
and just organize that space how it was.
Mhm.
Granted, I guess you could do whatever you want to with the building facade, but maybe you could try to recapture and reclaim some of the Muppet
The
fun.
courtyard.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe.
like the fountain, the
Yeah.
Miss Piggy fountain was really
Uh-huh.
neat. I hope Disney, unfortunately, guys, is notorious for scrapping stuff, just
Yeah.
completely scrapping it rather than hanging on to it. And I hope that's not what happened to
And
the Miss Piggy fountain.
yeah, I was
Uh,
gonna say there's
mhm.
they're notoriously bad lately in their treatment of water features.
Yes. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Oh.
but they
Um,
did say they preserved it and they had intentions of doing something with it. Not so fast animation.
okay.
So I
Well,
think Disney Plus
that's
makes a
cool.
lot of sense.
Yeah.
The potentially VR offering would
Hmm.
make a ton of sense also. But
Hmm.
I
That's
would
true.
love to see the villains move out when the time comes
Yeah,
and
and I haven't even seen that story,
move them over there.
but Tina said in chat that it had been largely panned by
Yeah.
guests. So that I'd say. Now, see, I saw initially when it opened, and we were there when it opened, but again, it was kind of a different trip for us, and so I wasn't able to park hop to see it, or I probably would have live streamed it. But the first impressions were pretty good. So I have not seen, what the majority, of guests are saying about it.
And then you've got the Little Mermaid show also that reopened as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the main feedback I've seen on that is, why was this closed so long if they weren't going to? I mean, I've heard that they've changed various things about the show, and obviously Ursula is different, and I think some of the effects are different. But the main feedback I've seen from folks is, it's good, but why in the world was this closed for so long? For them to only do what they did.
Mm-hmm. Jonathan has a good point here too. They say they're preserving it to take away the theater. That theater's pretty amazing. Yeah, with Waldorf and Statler in the balcony, and you're right, Jonathan.
It's the first time they blow up the theater. And it's completely unexpected. The effects that they used to demolish the theater are so cool.
Yeah.
And then also too, I think a lot of people, they fire the arrows, and the arrows stick in the wall.
Yeah.
And I think lots of people miss those arrows.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise me at all if people miss the Swedish Chef animatronic in the back. Because he's firing at the screen, but many folks are just looking at the screen.
That's true.
And so, anyway,
Jonathan, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see, guys. Again, since 2020, Disney has made a plethora of questionable decisions that, prior to that, they would announce, oh, we're going to do this, or we're going to do that. And we get all excited and think, oh, well, what are they going to give us? And now when they announce something, it's like, oh, now what are they going to take? Now what are they going to destroy? What are they going to take out? Because they're not doing expansions. They're doing rethemes of classic attractions like this one. So, and they're going to retheme. Now I understand. I know, Steven Tyler, can no longer tour. They had to cancel their tour when he damaged his larynx. He fractured his larynx, and he can't sing anymore. And I get that, but that doesn't negate the fact that Aerosmith's music is still fantastic. So, anyway, we'll see what happens with it. But I think it's gonna. I don't know about having a Muppets. You think a Muppets ride would be more kid friendly. I don't know about having a Muppets ride with a height requirement.
Well, yeah, 48 inches is not super kid friendly.
It's not.
And that's the thing.
How do you go from Aerosmith, wow, concert, the whole, it's more of an adult themed roller coaster, to Muppets. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work, guys. I think this is, personally, just for the record, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think this is a really bad idea. But
yeah, I mean, that's the other piece of this too. Is like, Muppet Vision 3D. People say, "Oh, nobody cared. It had like wait time. You could go watch it whenever." And that's the thing. It did run all day. And the other piece of that is, whether you're 2 or 92, or younger or older, anybody could go in and watch Muppet Vision 3D. It was accessible by all.
Yes.
And Rock and Roller Coaster is not accessible by all.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point. So that's what's going on, in that area. We do not have. I think they did announce that that retheme for Rock and Roller Coaster won't start until next year. Am I right about that, or I'm thinking about something else?
I can't remember. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you something that's really funny is I actually I'm sorry, my nose is stuffy, so if my voice sounds a little funny, I've got kind of some sinus junk going on. So if my voice sounds funny or I sound a little crazy tonight, hey, it's because I seem to be knocking everything in sight over in here. And BE technology has not been my friend this evening. And so I'm 100% all over the place. But but yeah, my issue with the Muppets and Muppet Courtyard is they the stage one gift shop has been closed. I don't do they reopen it post COVID at all?
I don't think so.
I thought they did for a very brief run. And then the Christmas shop,
I don't remember it. They may have.
I think the Christmas shop was only used for like Santa Claus meet and greets because it's also stayed closed. And so that's two gift shops. So unless you're taking pictures with the cute decorations and stuff around the land, obviously Mama Melrose is there too. I didn't eat at Mama Melrose since 2010. I think 2009. I think was the last time I ate there.
Yeah.
And then Pizza Rizzo, me and our friends made a great memory eating in the wedding room, the disco wedding room upstairs, and we made some very fun memories up there. But closing two gift shops, unless that's pretty much just three things in the entire land. You got Muppet Vision 3D, Pizza Rizzo, and Mama Melrose, and the two other places where people could have spent time were both closed. So outside of taking pictures or eating or doing Muppet Vision 3D, that your options for spending time in that land were incredibly limited. So really, if they wanted to increase or maintain foot traffic in that area, they should have opened that other stuff up. But rather than just leaving it closed, because the stage one gift shop was very unique. I always felt like I found different merch in there than I'd see anywhere else. And also too, I think I found some good pins there also in that store.
Wow. Oh.
But yeah, for me, the big issue with moving the Muppets to Rock and Roller is that Muppet Vision 3D can be enjoyed by everyone, and Rock and Roller can't. Why it's I have to measure wide. I don't think he's at 48 inches yet. He's close, but I
don't think he is either.
Yeah, he's very close, but I mean he's 6, and so unless you just got a really tall kid, and wide's not short for his age, but that's a pretty decent amount of time to wait to ride this Muppet ride. So I had a thought, and I thought to myself, what if I had a couple of funny thoughts related to all this retheming business. I said, what if they end up closing Rock and Roller Coaster down, retheming it to Muppets, and the Muppets just end up doing all the Aerosmith songs? The Aerosmith songs. That's one of my imaginary pitches. Is they should do a short run, for people who may have missed Rock and Roller.
That's true.
You have the Muppets do all the Aerosmith hits. That wins the perfect fusion of the two.
That's funny.
They ought to do a short run on that at some point, because I think that would be very funny. I have no idea what they have in store for us, but
I don't know either.
But anyway, to get back to my point, I filmed what I thought was probably my last experience riding Rock and Roller. Although I'm intending on going back. I got to double check if they've released if it's going to be open through the remainder of this year, real quick. But I did shoot a vlog, as if it was going to be my last time. It looks like it is scheduled to close in 2026. So
took it a little while longer.
Yeah. So it looks like that, in fact, will not be my last ride, Lord willing, on a rock and roller coaster.
Right. But you did do a vlog. That's cool.
Yeah, but I shot a brief vlog. I did a poor job of closing it out because I got in a hurry. And but anyway, I'll have to show you what I shot at some point.
Yeah.
Because maybe we could utilize some of it.
Right.
I love the jokes from the rock and roller coaster ride at cast members, because I got in the single rider line because it was just me running in that day to do everything, run errands, buy the stuff, bring back some breakfast, and he said, single riders follow me. He said you're all solo acts. He said that's where the real money is anyway. And then he said, well, I say that. He said, y'all, solo acts are great. That's where the big money's at. But then he said the even bigger money is in the reunion tours. So he said, come back and do it. Check out Rock and Roller again with the rest of your group, and bring in the big bucks. And so
that's neat.
I thought that was a pretty fun joke.
That is fun.
And obviously too, them telling you to walk this way, to move. To move to the next place in line's always neat, but
yeah, neat. Well, so that's for that area. We've got a little bit longer to enjoy rock and roller coaster. Skipping over, guys, to
check out my picture that I took riding solo with this dad and his two daughters. You'll have to go check that out on our app, Mom. Cool. Because we all took a fun picture together.
Yeah. Oh, that's neat. That's neat. Yeah, we may have to try to post it on Instagram. Okay, so this is
my other thought. Sorry to cut you off, Mom. One other thought that I thought would be really funny, is I don't know if they have anything left of the alien encounter. But if they have anything, like any pieces of like animatronic or anything like that, probably not. But if they could find some way to reference it or incorporate it into the new Monsters land, I think that would be hilarious. Because it's a monster. I mean, I think you could find a way to sneak it in somewhere.
Yeah,
some sort of presence
at least.
Yeah, or maybe put it on a bulletin board or something.
Yeah,
because fun. I think that would be fantastic. Another piece of that is, I'm, with Galaxy's Edge, we were promised, moving droids and aliens. And R2 has made a handful of appearances. They've had the little, walking droids that they featured. But they keep showing stuff and not actually, including in the parks, to make it feel as alive as they had originally teased. Right. But my next thought was, you've got this big, you're planning to retheme this to monsters, and the building architecture can obviously fit the monster style, but how I guess not all the monsters and monsters.
Monsters Theater is the Monsters Theater, or the
Muppet
Theater is called the Globe. Is
okay.
Is the Globe.
Yeah.
And so it's been renamed the Glob.
Oh, that's funny.
So it's going to be a play on Monsters Inc., obviously.
But my thought process was, I'm sure the Mike or Sully's probably going to move from Pixar, the Pixar place, where with the Incredibles and I think Inside Out characters.
Right.
I'm assuming they'll pick him up and move slowly over
Right.
to the monsters, but hopefully
Yeah.
they add some more monsters kind of roaming in Monstropolis.
That would be neat. That would be neat if they do that.
So that's my thoughts. Is you need monsters roaming Monstropolis, or even
Right.
maybe have some sort of animatronics in windows or something to help.
Right.
Maybe they kind of peek between the blinds or something like that to really make that land feel like
Yeah.
Monstropolis. But
Yeah.
even if it's just some sort of bulletin board or something, I would love to see them work in some sort of reference to the alien
That would
from
be
the
fun.
alien encounter.
That would be fun if they could do that. Moving over across to Magic Kingdom, guys, I really don't even want to cover this. I'll just be honest with you, because I was really hoping that Disney would come to their senses and not make this change. But as many of you know, Tom Sawyer Island, Rivers of America, and the Liberty Bell Riverboat will be permanently closing on July 7th. So the last day of operation will be July 6th on this one. Now, Tom Sawyer Island is an opening day attraction. There's a Tom Sawyer Island at Disneyland. It's that, island that's surrounded by the rivers of America, and the riverboat is that beautiful oasis in Frontierland. At Disneyland, it was rethemed several years ago and expanded as Pirate's Lair on Tom Sawyer Island. So they didn't necessarily take away Tom Sawyer Island, but they added some pirate stuff to it. So that was after Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean film series came out. But Tom Sawyer Island has been there forever. It's Aunt Polly's, which was just a really cool little quick service area there. You could get snacks, and things of that nature. You get Mickey bars and things there. And it is an oasis. It's a place you can go and kind of, get away from the crowds and everything and explore. You get over there, by the log raft. You have to ride the log raft over, and then you could explore the whole island. Now, it was kind of a self-guided tour, but there was, when you got off the raft there at the entrance to the island, there's a big map that kind of showed you, where everything was and sort of what to expect. But they really had, when I was there in let's see, May. I went over, I've still got to get a vlog put together on this, but I took a lot of footage. I went all the way, from the queue line to the log right over there. I explored the island. I went through all the caves, the whole thing, and did a really extensive vlog of that area. So I'm going to put together that. But while I was over there doing that, I thought, golly, this is just such a cool place. It's if they wanted to, kind of reanimate, get people over there. I've got a ton of ideas that, they could have used to get people over there again. I wish they had opened Aunt Polly's. We talked about, the closures and then opening things again. But the fact that they're just going to this beautiful, Rivers of America and the Oasis, especially in Frontierland. This is something that's near and dear to Walt's heart. Let's see. There was a post several years ago on the Disney parks. Let's see. I guess this is Twitter. That shows a map of Tom Sawyer Island. I'll probably try to do show you this next week in a slideshow, but the post says Disney parks all over the world still bear many personal marks of Walt Disney himself, and Tom Sawyer Island is perhaps one of the most personal. And I 100% agree with that, with that. And again, Disney Parks posted that. Hi, Mike, welcome in. I really have a problem with this, y'all. This is because they're demolishing a whole area. It's a land in Magic Kingdom, which is, the flagship park. I was truly hoping, and of course, Dean kept telling me, no, they're going to go ahead and do it. I was truly hoping that they would back up on this. I don't know whose idea this was, but it's horrible. It's a horrible idea. They're just going to bulldoze it, fill it in, concrete it, and put a cars ride in it. In Frontierland.
Yeah, I mean, they are preserving at least a little bit of water, for the essentially the flow of, to preserve the illusion of water flowing away from Tiana's. They're going to have water that travels all the way over to towards Haunted Mansion, because it's going to be wooded. And the updated concept art, there is still at least a little bit of water, but it's not, your mileage may vary, but it does look like they're at least keeping a little bit of water, just not near as much as what's currently there.
Well, and again, that's concept art, and I don't trust concept art as far as I can throw it, because it never turns out like that. I don't know. Y'all, I don't even know what to say about this. This is just really making me sick. This is, they've already rethemed Splash Mountain. They redid, Country Bear Jamboree. It's not Country Bear Jamboree anymore. It's not folk music anymore. I don't know what it is. And then they closed the Frontierland Shooting Gallery, and they say they're going to put in a pass holder lounge, or not a DVC lounge there, which they haven't really done anything with. But anyway, not to dwell too much on it. I hate this idea. It's just all I can say about it. I think it's a terrible, terrible idea. I would love to say Disney has got to stop demolishing classic attractions and retheming them, because the rethemes are not good. The retheme of Splash Mountain to Tiana's Bayou Adventure is not good. It's just not a good retheme. Give us an expansion. Actually put something on land that you haven't used yet. That's why Walt bought 43 square miles of land in Walt Disney World. Yeah. So, this one's a bridge too far for me.
Yeah,
it is. So,
let's see. I did the best I could to try to write everybody's names down. So if you commented early on in the stream, I may have missed you. I'll try to catch you later, but I did try to get caught up on everybody who's commented so far. Yeah, for me, it's been a long time since I've done. For me, the bigger issue is they've, whether they'll come out and say it or not, they feel the need to monetize more spaces.
Yeah.
They're, granted, the shooting gallery at Disneyland, they do cost money for, but it was free at Disney, free. I say, it was complimentary. I guess with the, cost of admission.
You didn't have to pay additional for it.
So anyway, and then that's DVC lounge now. But, just this gigantic and kind of blatant push, and trust me, I'm well aware, Disney's out to make money. Shocker. Who'd have thought?
Yeah.
I get that, but it's part of creating a land. The sight lines, the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Jillian is optimistic. She thinks that if they get good budget, it could potentially, with the trees, the kind of national park vibe that the concept art has, with the trees added in and stuff. She's optimistic that if they get a good enough budget, that it could look okay. For me, the larger issue is that obviously, Walt Disney had a lot of respect for Mark Twain.
Mark Twain.
Yeah. And Mark Twain is one of the iconic. Granted, I couldn't tell you if they still read Tom Sawyer in school or not, but that is one thing I looked forward to whenever I had to read Tom Sawyer in school, was going and checking out Tom Sawyer Island and being like, oh yeah, I read about this in the book, these characters and
classic American author.
And that's without getting into any of the concerns that those that have loved ones that need a place to calm down, to chill, to get away from the hustle and bustle of the rest of the park.
It's beautiful over there.
Yeah,
it's just beautiful.
And so, that's, and also to the Liberty Bell is completely accessible. And so you have two areas where people could go and just kind of breathe and take a break from, the madness and the chaos of, everybody moving ride to ride, everybody trying to make their next, lightning lane, And so for me, that's the bigger issue, is that the blatant need to monetize every single space. Yeah. And also too, this is, Tom Sawyer's classic American literature. And so, we're well,
and it went along with, this is something that Walt's fingerprints are on, guys. Yeah. This is something that's classic old Disney, Walt's fingerprints, and it's a piece of edutainment.
Yeah.
Walt was huge on edutainment, on educating people while entertaining them. And his love for American history, that's why there is a Frontierland, is because of Walt's love for American history. So they're systematically destroying that, and I am completely against it, as are a lot of older Disney fans, longtime Disney fans. And I honestly cannot imagine walking into Frontierland, which I don't think it's going to be Frontierland for long. I mean, I think at some point they'll completely retheme it. It won't even be Frontierland anymore, because Disney is not concerned about theming anymore. They're just not. I can't imagine walking into that area and not seeing, hearing the Liberty Bell whistle and seeing it, go around the rivers of America with Tom Sawyer Island. Those sight lines are part of my childhood, I'm pretty sick about this one, guys, and I'm tired of being sick of things. I'm tired of being handed, and Jillian saying, well, and I hope she's right. Don't get me wrong. But I've hoped, oh, well, they'll give us something good with Tiana's. Oh, well, they'll give us something good with Country Bear Jamboree. Oh, well, they'll give us something good with, you name it, with the Walcott, they'll give us something really good there, because we had walls up for years and years and years. And they continue to give us substandard pieces. They replace excellent classic attractions with something that's completely substandard. And so I have no confidence that they won't do that again with this area.
Yeah.
So I just have, I really, I'm trying really hard not to be negative, but it's hard to be, because this one, again, they just keep hitting me in
You know,
Frontierland.
and it's interesting too because Jillian and I played Inside the Magic. You know, granted, Inside the Magic is a terrible news source, but they do have really
It
fun
is.
Disney Jeopardy on their YouTube page. There's a guy, Brian Perry is his name. He does Disney Jeopardy. He's been doing it for over probably over 2 years at this point. But we he one of the categories in the show we watched last night was from last year. It was concept art, and you had to name which park it was in.
Yeah.
And they showed us the previous, from 2 years ago, the previous concept art for Beyond Big Thunder, which was going to be Villains Land and Coco and something else.
Yeah.
But it was the previous, Beyond Big Thunder that they had announced.
Right.
And it sounded like they just ended up plucking the Coco part out, and that other maybe Encanto that was connected to. It looks like they just plucked those out and dropped those in the Central Americas at Animal Kingdom.
Right.
And then tied in Indiana Jones. But my bigger issue is I've seen people on Twitter, do like a sky view and saying, "What are you doing with this space?" Because there's plenty of space for the new Villains Land, and they easily could have added this Cars attraction without touching the stuff that's already there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They have no shortage of space. They're like they had this big triangle, beyond,
Oh yeah.
back past everything that's there currently, and they're like, Villains is going here. What about this space here?
Right.
And it's like you easily could have fit everything that you're going to put here in that space. And my other issue is, are we really just putting in one ride? Like we're going to do
in that whole space?
In that whole space?
That's
like,
I thought of that
I'm
too.
sure there's going to be gift shops. I'm sure there's going to be quick service, but a whole land for one attraction. Just and officially it won't be its own land, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, if you're making its own national park, one ride seems pretty low bar.
Right.
I mean,
yeah. Plus, they just keep stretching. Remember how they had to just do all kinds of gyrations and yoga, twist themselves into pretzels to make Tiana's bite, to make a story for Tiana's that fit the bones of Space Mountain.
Yeah.
Or Space Mountain of
Splash
Mountain.
Yeah.
That's still ridiculous. It still doesn't work. And I don't understand this mentality. This is not what Disney used to bring us. We used to be excited when they went out something new. And I'm just this one is they're not good.
I rode Tiana's for the first time and on this past trip, and I was very amused. Well, there's something missing with the story, and I can't put my finger on it, but and the other piece is that Tiana, her face and mouth wasn't moving, but she was singing. The rest of her body was moving. It's like, good grief! Can we not get she is the centerpiece. She is the centerpiece animatronic in the finale scene of this show. Right. Like, can we not get her to work properly, even a little bit?
Well, the one at Disneyland doesn't work either.
Yeah, she's stuck in T-pose. She's notoriously bad at both parks, and frankly, I'm not big into superstitious, but I might be a little stitious. And she probably cursed, frankly. It's probably Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox, Brer Bear. She's probably a little bit cursed.
They put the hex on her.
They
put the hex on her.
But
compared to, we should look up, William, and see.
And Tina, that's a big piece of it.
In Splash Mountain versus how many animatronics there are in it's not even close.
No, it's not.
Close.
And granted, they are, they're characters, and it's not just the America Sings, some of the America Sings animatronic repurposed for the that they use for Splash Mountain. But Tina, yeah, suspense, the big build to the drop, oh, we don't want to scare people. It's a 50.
Yeah.
It's a
So,
what?
so what is Haunted Mansion?
It's a what? 40-foot
What is
plunge.
Pirates of the Caribbean?
It's a what? 40-foot plunge.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
you got the big drop, and then guess what? Everybody, you lived. You got thrown into the briar patch.
Right.
But yeah,
Right.
Tina, that
Yeah, with the
for
vultures, you had the vultures there. It
Yeah.
was really cool.
They would have
There's
been
no
better
build-up.
served. They would have been better served to include the Voodoo Man.
Oh yeah.
They would have been much, to include
Yes.
him and are you ready? Are you
Oh,
ready?
yeah. Absolutely.
Transformation should bump, 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 and even have some of the masks.
With the
Can you
build-up.
feel it? And then throw
Excellent.
you.
There you
That
go.
would have been much better.
Oh yeah.
But there's still something missing. Suspense is a big part of it, Tina. There's some, and Jillian said the same thing. There's something missing, and outside of the drop, there's something else missing, which is kind of funny because the whole point of the ride is finding this secret spice or whatever. And it's like, we may have found the secret spice, but something in this ride is missing an ingredient outside of the suspense.
The secret spice. Yeah.
I mean, they went all out with the queue. There's a bunch of neat stuff in the queue, and some neat Tiana related tidbits with her dad, and I can appreciate that. And nods to his service and the military. Granted he's fictional, but still I can appreciate it.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's just something missing for that ride, and that was my thought. Outside of the suspense, it was so funny. We came into that last scene, and there was a guy and his wife behind us, and it was a guy and his older son. And we come into the last scene, and he started. The guy behind me started singing "Zippity doo dah, zippity day," just kind of to himself, and I got the biggest kick out of it because that's the other piece. Zippity doo dah. Was an earbug that stuck with you all day. You all the way to the next ride,
and so happy.
Yeah, and I understand. The Tiana, this new Tiana song doesn't have the benefit of having played for however many years, but still, it's just it's not a knock on the guy who wrote the song. It's just like, bro, you're competing against Zippity Doo Dah, which I mean,
good luck with that.
Yeah, it ain't happening. And so the new song is not an earbug. I've listened to it.
Remember it.
Something about secret spice. Da 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 da. But I couldn't tell you any of the words. Da 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 da. But that's it. But I just granted it's newer. But the other thing that's been interesting to me is that I've seen people be critical of it on social media and say, I thought retheming this was supposed to raise wait times.
Right.
What wait times are exactly what they were before Splash left, and that was Splash, without them fixing half the ride.
Yeah.
Half the animatronics needed TLC.
That's true.
And Tiana's Bayou
was still full.
Adventure. Yeah, Tiana's Bayou Adventure pretty much has the same average wait time.
When I was there,
it's not less.
That's a big line queue before you even get into the building. And when all the times that I have been there, that outside line queue has not even been close to being full. So there's that. Anyway, the other thing that they have not told us, there's some speculation that they will put the Liberty Bell riverboat on Seven Seas Lagoon. So we don't know what her fate will be. But
you could ship her out to the French Quarter there at Port Orleans.
Yeah, I guess you could yeah, I guess you could do that. But I've heard that she's going to go on Seven Seas Lagoon. But
Yeah.
At any rate, this one, this one, y'all, is really hitting me hard. I'm just, and it's the culmination of, I mean, look at, Star Cruiser. Look at all the things that they have come up with post COVID that have been stinkers.
Yeah.
Just absolute stinkers.
We
so I think it's a
are.
horrible idea. I don't know who's in charge, but my gosh, get somebody back in there that has a clue.
Yeah.
Please.
Our
get
waiter
somebody back in.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know.
Our waiter at Roundup Rodeo Barbecue was a cast member on the Halcyon, and he's like, man, he's like, I made some really incredible relationships with folks, that I've kept up with, like guests, and also he's like the cast members too, like it's like a special brotherhood, type situation, amongst us that worked on that worked on the Star Cruiser. They said it was really neat, and that's something, that's going to be a claim to fame for them the rest of their careers that they worked.
That's true.
They worked on the opportunity to experience the Star Cruiser, as cast members, and make magic for folks.
And just quickly, we've got to move on, but just quickly, I think that again, the big mistake they made with the Star Cruiser was the price tag. For crying out loud. I could take a 7-day cruise for that, a real cruise. Yeah. So anyway,
the price per minute, price per hour was astronomical, and especially you're supposed to have an excursion to Batu built into that, and it just like. Yes. I mean, I've heard incredibly positive. And I've seen incredibly positive feedback from who went and experienced it for themselves. But 100%. Like, it's very disappointing that what they expected people to pay for the experience that was available. I understand you can live your own Star Wars experience. People created their own characters. I understand it was basically live action role play LARPing. For what, 2 days or whatever. Mm-hmm. But and I understand that they wanted to really craft the experience and that people, the people that did it loved it, but it just, that price tag was not sustainable.
Yeah.
And it's incredible to me that it's just going to be apparently just going to be an office building. Mm-hmm. That's stunning to me.
Yeah. It's sad. It's sad because the concept, the concept that they had was really good, and they, with a Bob Chapek, i.e. Chapek, was in there at the time, and he just kept shaving and shaving and cutting and cutting, and so the end product was not at all what they conceived, what the Imagineers conceived. And then they put a price tag on it that was just ridiculous. So, those two things, that's Disney's fault. So
I maintain that at some point we're going to get a Galaxy's Edge expansion, and hopefully they'll utilize some of that track, some of that area between the Star Cruiser and the park. I think we're supposed to get some sort of Bantha ride, which I think would be really neat. I think a kid's Bantha ride, even if it was just, make the ride vehicle look like a Bantha and feel like a, basically like a big animatronic. Right. But even if it was just a slow, like almost kind of donkey, carnival style donkey ride. I mean, put me on a daggum back of a Bantha. Imagine the photo ops.
Oh yeah. It would be cute. And
But
again, it's like you said, it would be great for, kids.
yeah,
Because that
but
area really doesn't have anything
that
for kids.
yeah, there was supposed to be more dining, there was supposed to be more entertainment,
Hmm.
and there's supposed to be more,
Yeah.
interactions like
Yeah.
that. You
Yeah.
know,
And
I
Oga's Cantina needs to be at least 3 times the size that it
yeah,
is. So,
for sure double, no
yeah,
doubt.
for sure, double. Yeah.
And that is one thing that I will say that the Toadstool Cafe, and granted, it's not limited to just a bar, but the Toadstool Cafe at Epic is massive on the
Yeah.
inside, and
Yeah.
so
Well,
they
that's
fully
good.
anticipated the popularity.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
because they were pumping through people through that place the whole time, and
Yeah.
it was incredibly impressive how well they operated that and had
Mhm.
people moving in and out,
Right.
and how quickly they were seating folks.
Right.
But yeah, Elga's Cantina easily should be double the seating.
Mhm.
I, you know,
Mhm.
um, I for one am not huge on being paired with other parties, because you never know who you're going to end up sitting by. Sometimes it works out really well. I gifted 3 pins to people, um, and one of them was this girl who was there. She had her family with her. I'm assuming uncles, mom, dad, grandma,
Mhm.
grandpa. She was a cute girl. You could tell she was wore out. It was me and Wyatt there,
Yeah.
because she kept waking up. It's like she'd wake up, take a few drinks of her drink, and then fall back asleep. And then she'd wake
Mhm.
up and drink. She was probably, I'm guessing 8 or so, but you could tell
Mhm.
she was at the end of the rope. But she was having a good time, and she was incredibly
Mhm.
well behaved. And so I had one of my spare Galaxy's Edge pins, and after me and Wyatt got up to pay, I said, hey, do y'all mind if I give her something? And they're like, no, it's fine. And I
Mhm.
said, hey, I want you to have this. I appreciate, it looks like you're having a great time with your family. It's your birthday trip.
Yeah.
I want you to have something to commemorate, your experience here at Galaxy's Edge, and they were very appreciative.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
gave out 2
That's
more
neat.
pins, which were the same pin, because it was 2 brothers that Wyatt got in a conversation with as we were leaving Epcot.
Right.
Uh, One was probably right at Wyatt's age. One was a little bit old, probably a year older than Wesley. Um, and Wyatt struck up conversation with them, and they had a great time talking about everything that they'd done on their trips. Wyatt and these 2 boys, and it was, I carry extra pins on me, and
Mhm.
we had such a great time talking to these boys, and it was so funny because they were like, you ought to come over to our house and play. And
Oh.
I can't remember where they were from. I didn't hear their address, but apparently they told Wyatt their address, and I can't remember even
Oh.
what state they were from. But
Oh,
their mom was
sweet.
like, "Oh, boys, you can't just tell random people our address." Like, no offense to y'all, but
Right. Right.
she's like, I'm sure y'all are wonderful, but you can't just go tell everybody our address.
That's funny. Yeah.
But anyway, it was a couple little boys. Wyatt had the best time talking to them as we were waiting on the
Mhm.
Skyliner. They're incredibly friendly, and
Yeah.
I had 2 of the same pin on me because I thought to myself, I know my boys, and
Mhm.
uh, and so thankfully I had 2 of the same pin on me, so each one of them could have the same pin, and they wouldn't have to argue over who got what
Right.
pin.
Right.
So
Right.
anyway,
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun. Their family is
Yeah.
really sweet.
Yeah.
But I like to try and do nice things for folks. Last year
Mhm.
we went to Disneyland with Jillian's family around Christmas, and they had a cast member there playing sabacc. With trying to, I'm sure they were trying to sell sabacc, but also they were playing into the interactivity of the land. And so I talked with her a little bit about where she was from, in Batu, because there's different areas of Batu. If you read the there's a book that Target sells about Batu, and there's different
Mhm.
areas. There's like a wetlands, and there's other areas that are, that you don't see directly in Galaxy's Edge. And so I asked her about her story and everything. We played. She ended up beating me in sabacc. I said, "Well, thank you. I really appreciate you playing with me." And gave her. I had one of my. I've got a set of pins that were like they were like $10 for 4 pins at the Disney store on clearance. And one of the pins is sabacc cards. It's like 2 sabacc cards that are next to each other, kind of like as you're hold up a hand. And I gave that to her, and she was super appreciative. Very thankful. But I try to do my part to, whenever somebody goes above and beyond. Obviously, I do cast compliments in the app.
Oh yeah.
Also,
yeah.
I'll say, hey, hey, can I take a picture of your badge? One cast member that was phenomenal on this trip, and we'll talk more about this next week. It's already 11 o'clock Central, so it's midnight for y'all on the East Coast. But I do want to give a quick shout out to this cast member. He was working the Haunted Mansion close to close, and for the life of me, I tried to get a picture of his badge, but he wouldn't stop moving because he was in character. I asked him, I can't remember his name. I probably have it in my notes, but I wanted to cast compliment for him, and I asked him where he was from because he was going to get the next group. He went back into the stretching room, and obviously he was going back to get the next group. And anyway, I asked him where he was from. He said, "Regions beyond." But he was phenomenal. I mean, he was all in on his role as a
that's neat.
As caretaker of the mansion.
That's neat.
I got the biggest kick out of him saying he was from regions beyond.
Of course he was.
His badge said where he was from in real life, but that was a phenomenal response, and he was all in on his character.
That is neat. That is neat. Just some announcements, guys, and I should have mentioned this at the beginning of the stream. We do have a huge announcement to make tonight that we're really, really excited about. So let me go ahead and cover. We'll cover the rest of this Disney news and make our announcement and get you out of here. How to Train Your Dragon, guys, to kind of swapping gears to that other park. Epic Universe has How to Train Your Dragon area. How to Train Your Dragon movie releases Friday the 13th. So that is out, and our local Cinemark actually had showtimes for the 12th. That's the other one that I want to see. I want to see How to Train Your Dragon. What I say, Mission Impossible and Lilo and Stitch are all out right now. Yeah. So we'll see what we think about that one.
Wyatt enjoyed it. He's seen Lilo and Stitch live action. He's seen How to Train Your Dragon live action. He enjoyed both. I've heard How to Train Your Dragon is pretty true to the original story. It's borderline shot for shot with some different. Obviously, with it being live action, they've worked some different stuff in, and also because of it being live action, like the intense scenes are more intense because it's supposed to look real. And so, anyway, but definitely I would watch the animated and then watch, for comparison's sake, mentally. I've heard the differences are pretty minimal. Jared, my Jillian's brother, said he felt like the costuming could have been a bit better. He said the acting, most of the acting was fine. He said he just felt like the costuming could have been a bit better. He said it kind of felt like, it felt like a lower budget production from a costuming perspective. As if the characters, instead of the characters being the characters, they felt like actors playing the characters. And so anyway, that was his feedback. He said he enjoyed it though. Yeah, he's a big How to Train Your Dragon guy. He loves all three, and Wyatt's watched all three with him. And so anyway, that was his main critique, is that he felt like the costuming just could have been better.
Yeah. Hall of Presidents, guys, the actual show is not open, but they did reopen the display area. So you can go in, get a little air conditioning and see the display area. Obviously, it's still closed. They don't have to make a new animatronic. They're just moving President Trump back to center stage. So I'm not entirely sure what's taking so long. I have my suspicions, but hopefully we'll get Hall of Presidents back. And I know that, Hall of Presidents, people say, oh, they need to close. No, they don't need to close Hall of Presidents. Hall of Presidents is absolutely unique in the world. Where else can you come and see all of the American presidents? And then it has that wonderful, patriotic movie to go with it. And they introduce all of them, and they move and they talk. It's fantastic. So hopefully they'll have Hall of Presidents open. The people that I was traveling with were really disappointed. She was disappointed that it was closed.
Yeah,
because she really wanted to. I don't care who the current president is.
No.
I love it.
I mean, it's bigger. It's bigger than who's in office.
It is. Absolutely.
That's the thing.
So much bigger.
There are guys up on that stage, that people like or don't, but guess what? It's complete.
Yes.
It's complete, and all of them are there.
Amazing.
But so anyway, hopefully they'll fix his face. It'd be great if they'd actually get him to do a read. I want to say somebody posted that maybe Obama's that last president to actually do an actual voice read for the attraction.
I want to say so.
Yeah, because I want to say I've seen some video floating around on the internet of him actually doing it, and so maybe the extra time is fixing his face, and maybe actually doing some lines would be great.
Getting a read, I would love
that would completely justify. The extended closure. I mean, this thing's got to be back up.
Whomever the current president is should do a read.
Yeah, 100%.
I think whomever, and I don't, like I said, I don't care who it is.
Yeah.
I think the current president should do a read.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I hope they get that back.
It's it's incredible.
Too,
and hopefully they have this thing back open, because I mean this thing's got to be back open by July the 4th, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah. No, July 4th is we're getting close to it.
Yeah.
We're over halfway there. So today's the 17th of June.
I would hope that opening, aside from it being air conditioned, I would hope that opening the queue area would indicate that this is going to open at some point.
Right. Is it not? We hope so. So Walt Disney World also confirmed the return and performance times for Disney's Celebrate America. Oh my gosh. I'm going to do this at some point. I toyed with the idea of being there on the 4th of July to see Disney's Celebrate America, a 4th of July concert in the sky at Magic Kingdom. The fireworks show will be performed at 9:20 on July 3rd and 4th. Happily Ever After will not be performed on those dates. So if you're going to say Happily Ever After, you're not going to get that on the 3rd and 4th. But oh my goodness, I dearly love what they do for the 4th of July every year. And again, I toyed with going. I'm not going to, but I really toyed with going this year. I've got to do it at some point. So at any rate,
Tina says it wasn't open by 7/4/17. And so it wasn't open until the following January. Come on. So anyway, I mean, come on now.
More Disney doing what Disney does these days. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad will reopen June 21st, per several social media sites that we found today.
I thought that was Disneyland Paris.
Okay, check it.
I believe that's Disneyland Paris, because I tried to look it up and I couldn't find it.
Okay, cancel the good news.
Yeah, never mind.
Never mind. moving right along. Yeah, I'm Big Thunder Mountain. You know, I got to thinking about that. Last time I was there because last time I was there, it wasn't even closed. So anyway, I don't know what was going on, but I did, you know, I found it, but I did, you know, notice that it said Disneyland Paris.
We did get Test Track 3.0 on the 22nd of July.
That's true. That's true. Test
Which
Track.
is, yeah.
Will open on the 22nd, and that's
Test Track with trees.
That's going to be a good one. I think. I hope they've done a good job with that one. So that is good news. So, again, Disney Starlight, the new nighttime parade. Disney Starlight, When You Wish Upon a Star, is premiering this. Now, this is the first time Disney has had this. Is, you know, has been on our wish list, guys, forever. Is a new nighttime parade is coming July the 20th. I am super excited about this one. Yeah. I hope they've done a good job with it. But yeah, please give us something. Give us something half as good as Paint the Night.
Yeah.
Or Spectral Magic.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the float. I think the end float that they've already teased pictures of does look really cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it does. It does. So I'm, you know, really excited about that. Jillian is probably going to be there, like on the 22nd or so. Maybe she can, you know, get us a live stream of that parade shortly after it begins to run. So that would be really amazing.
I can't remember if it's the 22nd or 23rd. That's a travel day for her, but if she doesn't catch it before her cruise, for sure she's going to get it after. So hopefully we can try to make sure all her streaming stuff is set up properly, so she can just, you know, jump right in and stream it for all of us. I mean, granted, we could, you know, I'm sure all of our friends are going to cover it. I'm sure RTV1 will be there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm sure Is Our Dream. You know, everybody and their brother are going to have a stream of that. But, you know, this is our channel. And so we would also like to have a stream of it.
Right.
And so anyway, hopefully we can get Jillian squared away to where she can do that on her trip, since she will, in fact, be there around that time. A little bit more information.
And then we will be there shortly after. So if for some reason she doesn't get it, we'll get it a few weeks later.
Yeah. A little bit more real quick on Test Track 3.0, just for fun. Disney Parks blog said the upgraded attraction will debut a new musical store and new scenes that highlight technology, making our cars smarter and our lives more fun. One new scene showcases how vehicles can use advanced cameras and sensors to see the world they drive through. I wonder if we're going to have another jump scare, almost get run over by an 18-wheeler. To see the world that they drive through, Imagineers represented this LiDAR technology with over 29,000 light nodes. There's a video demonstration on Disney Parks blog. Disney said, while Test Track has always celebrated new and future automotive technology, it's also a reminder of what road trip is all about, spending quality time in the company of family and friends while embracing the beauty of the world around you. So it looks like it's going to be kind of a World of Motion before Test Track. You know, and looks like they're kind of, gonna include kind of techie, but also nature. So I did see a video today talking about, I think there's like 4 or 5 different types of trees that they're going to have represented in this ride. So anyway, we shall see the scenic outdoor overlay. As you ride, you will be immersed in an all-new scenic overlay inspired by the landscapes of the Pacific Northwest. Towering trees, misty lighting effects, carefully placed natural elements help create the feeling of driving through a living, breathing environment. It's a bold departure from the previous neon-heavy theme and aims to create a more grounded and emotionally rich journey that maintains Test Track the signature speed and intensity. There will be more information in the coming weeks about previews. for Test Track 3.0.
I'm looking forward to that one. It'll be nice to have it back open. I was really surprised that they got it done that quickly. We're used to waiting for
frankly.
years.
Yeah. Maybe GM helped them kick the tires a little bit on it.
Maybe they did. If somebody needs to
Chevrolet.
I will post, guys, as I said, I will post a complete video as ASAP. Hope to get it done this Saturday. It's going to be kind of a long one because I did take extensive video while I was at Tom Sawyer Island. From the boat ride over, or the raft ride over, raft ride back, all the caves, the barrel bridge, the whole 9 yards, Aunt Polly's. So that was tons of fun to do, and I'm really looking forward to putting that vlog together and having that on the channel. But as a surprise, you guys know Tom Nabby. Many of you in the chat will know him from Corey of Corey Meets World. Did an interview with him several years ago. He did one during COVID. I think he may have actually interviewed him a second time. I'm not sure. But Tom Nabby, of course, is a Disney legend. And when Walt was looking for somebody to be Tom Sawyer, a little actor to be Tom Sawyer and promote Tom Sawyer Island, he hired Tom Nabby to do that because Tom really fit the part. And then, as he grew up, he continued to work for Disney and was not only at Disneyland, but then when they built Disney World, he was a area supervisor for the construction of Big Thunder Mountain. So he posted on his Facebook page and said, next Wednesday, the 18th of June, which is tomorrow, I'm going to have breakfast at the Contemporary Hotel and then travel to the Magic Kingdom to visit Tom Sawyer Island, the Rivers of America, and bid farewell to many fond memories. Frontierland Area Supervisor 7273 for the building of Tom Sawyer Island, and then Area Manager 75 through 79 for the building of Big Thunder Mountain. So he posted that on he's going to be there. Tom Nabby is going to be there tomorrow. How bittersweet, for him to go out there and realizing that they're going to close this. I don't remember the year that he was made a Disney legend, but Tom Nabby is a Disney legend. So if you're going to be in Magic Kingdom tomorrow, guys, keep your eyes open early in the day. For him, there is no ceremony or anything.
2005.
05. I was thinking 06.
So it's been 20 years since he was inducted.
Yeah. So this is such a nice guy. And so he's going to be there. No fanfare, no ceremonies or anything. He just wants to be there, apparently, and say goodbye to the islands. It's going to be very bittersweet for him, I'm thinking. William, did you happen to find your book by Tom Nabby?
No, I had a hard enough time making it onto the stream, and so it's.
I withdraw the question from that.
It's. I've been a little bit all over the place this evening.
Yeah, we ordered his book. If you guys go to tomnabby.com and check out his last name is Nabbe, and check out his website and grab one of his books, talking about his experiences in his career with Disney. I bought you a paperback, which he very graciously signed. Mm-hmm. And then I noticed a couple of days ago that he was offering a hardcover on his website. So I went ahead and ordered one for myself. But drum roll, please. Can I get a drum roll? Guys, I'm so excited because Tom Nabby has graciously accepted our invitation to come on Hitchhiker Chat and and talk with us about his illustrious Disney career. So that's the huge announcement. We'll be promoting this in the weeks to come, but
48 years with the company.
I'm absolutely thrilled about this, guys, to actually interview Tom Nabby, a Disney legend, was hired by Walt Disney, interacted with and knew Walt Disney personally.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how excited I am when I received his email this afternoon. And he consented to. It was kind of a funny email, but he consented to come on. I just screamed like a girl. I was really excited. So we are just thrilled that he's going to be coming on. The date to be announced. I'm still working out dates with him to see when it's going to be convenient. But he is going to come on Hitchhiker Chat. So right, Jonathan. So we will be promoting that.
We're having, the list is getting shorter and shorter of people who, worked with Walt or knew Walt or interacted with Walt. We lost Rolly Crump not that long ago. We lost the second of the Sherman brothers not that long ago.
Yeah.
And so the list is growing shorter and shorter. You got Bob Gurr, and you've got
who's the Energizer Bunny. Bob Gurr's in his 90s.
Yeah. So. Which is incredible. But anyway, the list is getting shorter and shorter. I talked to Mom about this. So this, we're going to do our best to, you make the most of our time with him whenever we have him on the show, and, try to, this is a unique opportunity. Our channel has less than 1,500 subs. And so this is a very unique opportunity for our channel. And we really appreciate his kindness and generosity, of being willing to come on with us. And so anyway, we very much look forward to, Jonathan saying happy birthday to Bob Gurr at his 90th. This is super cool. But we're absolutely thrilled to have Mr. Tom, on with us, for a date to be announced. Hope he has a wonderful trip to Magic Kingdom tomorrow. Hopefully he really enjoys his time at Magic Kingdom tomorrow.
Dean is going to be there. I'll let Dean know. I sent Dean a print screen of his Facebook post and told him to kind of keep his eyes open, because they're apparently he no fanfare, no official ceremonies or anything. He just wants to go in, and so if I were there, I would definitely be looking for him and try to introduce myself and what have you. I followed him on Facebook for a number of years. He's wished me a happy birthday a couple of times. I think I've shared that with you on Hitchhiker Chat. I was really thrilled to have Tom Nabby wish me a happy birthday the last couple of years. He recognized my name. When I sent him the email, I said, "Hey, I'm the Hitchhiking Bone," said, "I'm Dawn Bone on Facebook." And so, and I'm a top fan on his Facebook page. So, that's the good thing about our last name. It's very recognizable. It's very distinct. People Bone. Okay. They're not likely to forget that. So,
right.
At any rate.
Well, obviously we're going to cover a whole lot more about Tom, but here's, just some information on him. And in 1955, 12-year-old Tom Nabby was selling newspapers at Disneyland, when he began trying to convince Walt to give him a role as Tom Sawyer on Tom Sawyer Island. Tom pestered Walt until he got the job. Nearly 50 years later, Tom retired, a Disney legend, 48 years with the company. You can't be Tom Sawyer forever. Eventually you grow up. When Tom Nabby became a little too tall, a little too deep voiced to continue his childhood on Tom Sawyer Island, Disney made him a ride operator. No more magazine covers for Tom, no more photos with celebrities, but it wasn't the end of Tom Nabby's career. It was just the beginning. In true American fashion, Tom pulled himself up by his bootstraps and rose through the Disney ranks. He became a manager at Disneyland. He was instrumental in the opening of both Magic Kingdom and Epcot in Florida, and was tapped as part of the Disney team sent to Paris to open the theme park there. Tom retired from Disney in 2003 after nearly 48 years with the company. He still lives in Orlando, Florida with his wife, Janice, whom he married in 1968 after meeting her at Disneyland. That's incredible.
How cool
and here's this is from his Disney Legend page. It says the last time Tom Nabby paid to get into Disney, and again, he's a 2005 inductee as a Disney Legend. The last time Tom Nabby paid to get into Disney Park was July 18th, 1955, the first day Walt Disney opened his new park to the public. Tom was a rusty-haired 12-year-old enjoying his day at Disneyland. The very next day, he landed a job as a newsie, hawking the Disneyland news to Main Street guests. In 1956, Walt Disney recognized the Tom Sawyer in young Nabby, and he became the luckiest boy in the world. That's what the cover of the April 7th, 1957 issue of Parade magazine said beneath a full-color photo of Tom dressed as Mark Twain's paragon of American boyhood. I used to approach Walt every time I saw him around the park, Tom said of his year-long pursuit of the man behind the mouse and the starring role on Tom Sawyer Island. Walt's first response was why would I put you on the island when I could put a mannequin there, especially considering the dummy won't be running off for hot dogs every half hour. Walt, quoted in the Parade article, had a somewhat more gracious recollection. He was friendly and bright, and he sure looked the part. Speaking of Tom, one job requirement was that Tom had to keep a C average in school, so every quarter the boy brought his report card directly to Walt for inspection. It was perhaps the hardest part of playing the character. After outgrowing the role of Tom Sawyer, Tom went on to manage other attractions. In 1965, he met his wife, Janice, who was working at a concession stand in the park. In 1971, Tom was transferred to the newly opened Walt Disney World in Orlando, where he started as a manager of the monorail. He also helped in the opening of Disneyland Paris. 48 years later, in June 2003, 60-year-old Tom retired from his job as manager of distribution services at Walt Disney World. He was the last working member of Club 55, a group of original Disneyland cast members named for Disneyland's inaugural year and for their chief qualification of membership, a paycheck from Walt Disney dated 1955. So how about that?
Wow.
So he was 12 years old when he started working for Disney.
Yeah.
And, that's easy math. 12 years old, and he worked for the company for 48, and he was 60 years old when he retired. Just in 2003. That's incredible.
Yeah, that really is. I'm just beyond excited to talk with this gentleman, and if you guys have questions, be thinking of those questions and
send us to if you got questions, send us a direct message. I'm sure we'll want to prep him some. Have an eye that way he has prep him some for the interview, at least out of professionalism and
Sure. So he can kind of think about his
answers. So if you have a specific question for him, send us a direct message on Instagram or email us at thehitchhikingbones@gmail.com.
Absolutely. So we are really, really excited about this, guys, more than we can tell you. It's just, as William said, it's an incredible opportunity. And just can't wait to talk to him. So looking forward to that. I will announce the date as soon as I have it. I'll be shouting it from the rooftops on all of our social media. So you guys won't be able to miss it. But again, I'm just blown away. I'm really excited.
I want to do a brief pitch real quick for the Pete McDevitt Show channel, and Pete and sorry, I just lost her name because it's late. Was it Jen?
Monterey Molly.
Yeah, Monterey Molly. Pete and Monterey Molly interviewed Bob Weiss, former president of Walt Disney Imagineering, tonight, and granted I was distracted, but I had them playing, and I caught most of it. It was fantastic. Very, he was involved with some incredible, incredible projects during his time with the company. And also too, I mean, he's in the shows on Disney Plus related to Imagineering. Like he's one of the guys one of the faces that they have that they interview to talk about, various things. And so he's got a book out. Go, check out Team Replay if you missed it live. But it was incredible to see that interview. Oh yeah, thanks, Tina.
He's done some.
Yeah,
Pete has done some really good, really impressive.
I saw that.
Impressive guests.
Obviously I'm a dad. I'm super busy. But when I saw that notification pop up on my phone that's who they were having on tonight, I said, man, I know I got other stuff going on, but I gotta have this playing in the background because this is, in terms of Disney fanhood, Bob Weiss is one of the big fish. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
To have a former president of Walt Disney Imagineering is super cool. And so a little pitch, check out Team Replay if you missed it for Pete's channel. But also look ahead, because I never would have thought that our humble, family channel would ever have a Disney legend on. And yet here we are, that's the power of being willing to ask.
It is.
It
doesn't hurt to ask, folks.
Yeah. So I never in my wildest dreams would I ever have thought we'd be interviewing a Disney legend. But, Lord willing, here within the next month or so, we will have done that. And as Mom said, we're going to advertise the bejeebers out of this. And so, just strap in. You should have no issues knowing exactly when we plan to have him on. Because as Mom said, we're gonna be shouting it from the rooftop. Yeah, I mean, I never would have thought, that we would have an opportunity like this, but here we are.
Yeah,
and so
very,
very
excited.
excited.
The more excited I get. So yeah, so Jeff came in from town. He had gone to pick us some things. He was doing some work around for his brother and sister-in-law, and I was I was trying to tell. I said, I was so excited. He said, he's going to come on Hitchhiker Chat. And Jeff said, honey, I've got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
That's funny.
Just hold that thought. Yeah,
that's funny.
So it's just been crazy. It's been crazy. Yeah. It's been crazy. But we're really, really excited about this one. So we will let you know. Look forward to it. Wow. If you have questions, by all means, Christian Sanchez. Yeah. Welcome in, Christian. The riverboat is closing because they are closing that whole area. They're like, concreting the whole area. Tom Sawyer Island is going away.
Yeah, they're adding a Piston Peak for the cars attraction there.
Yeah. So back up,
and then on behind that,
we talk about it.
Yeah, and then on behind that, they've got plans for Villains Land back beyond Big Thunder.
They do. That is an excellent question, Christian.
Well, thanks for being here.
I know. We feel exactly the same way. We feel exactly the same way, Christian. Again, I guess let's say that was the big announcement, guys, that we wanted to make.
Yeah.
Just to let you know that Tom Nabby is coming on, and we're really looking forward to having him and to being able to talk with somebody who was hired by Walt Disney, who as a kid. And,
that's an incredibly unique distinction, and so we couldn't be more thrilled to have him come on our humble little channel.
Yeah. It's very sweet of him to. It's very sweet of him
Hmm.
to come on. So, anyway, yeah, let us know if you
It's
have
also the
questions
beauty of
for us.
YouTube because uh, it would be one thing to like run into him in the parks, but we will be able to preserve this, and have this discussion that we can reference, digitally for, in perpetuity, essentially.
Right, right. That's true.
It would be nice to, be really nice to make sure to download it, once we're done, to make sure that we
Oh,
have it saved.
absolutely,
We have it saved elsewhere in case there's,
absolutely.
anything bad ever happens to YouTube.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah. So let us know, guys, if you have questions. The hitchhikingbones@gmail.com.
Hmm.
Send us your questions, and I'll be talking with Mr. Nabby ahead of time. We will talk with him and
Hmm.
see how he wants the interview to go, and if he has a slideshow that if he wants to present or what. So we'll talk about all that with him and prepare a really good show for you and showcasing Disney legend Tom Nabby.
Yeah.
Wow. So, Christian, I don't know. That's a really good question. Somebody at
It's
Disney thinks
valid.
it's a good idea. So,
Yeah.
yeah, for years to come. So we are more than honored. We are extremely honored that Mr. Nabby, uh, consented to come on. I sent him all of
Hmm.
our links, and he asked me to tell him some about our audience, and I did. So that they're true Disney fans. And we would love to have you. Love to have you come on, and so he agreed to come on. Yeah, we don't have 200,000 viewers or 200,000 subs or anything. We don't even have 2,000 subs yet, but he agreed to come on, and we are honored. We will be honored to have him. So yeah. So yes, Christian. Yeah, back it up. Back it up. If you haven't been here the whole time,
Yeah.
Christian, by all means, we're just about done here, aren't we, William?
Yeah. Yeah. We should. It's 11:37, so we should probably work toward wrapping this up. Thanks to everybody for being here. I didn't get everybody's names written down because I could only go back so far in the chat. But I'll announce the names that I could see as far back as I could go. But thanks to everybody for being here. You're a really, you're such an encouragement to us, and we really appreciate everybody. Whether you're here for 5 minutes or 2.5 hours.
Hi, Jerry.
Hey, Jerry, welcome in. Great to see you. Barely, Jerry, barely still
Yes,
awake.
early.
But we appreciate you materializing.
Yeah.
Always great to see you, Jerry. But thanks to everybody for being here. Whether you're here for 5 minutes,
Oh, hey,
or you're on the team, or you're on team replay. Oh, let's see. No, oh, April, welcome in. Great to
nice
see
to
you.
see you, April.
Yeah. Let me get you written down here. Ridge. Always great to see you. But yeah, whether you're here for a little bit or a very long time, or you're just showing up like Hatbox Ghost in April, we appreciate any amount of time that you're willing to show up and support us and encourage us.
Yeah.
Admittedly, this stream has been pretty hectic. I didn't join until almost 30 minutes in, and then I dropped everything in sight. And so if you really if you want to see one of my poor, my phone fell off the stand. My phone fell off the stand a couple of times, and so this easily could be turned into a blooper reel on my account.
I hope that Tom Nabby is not watching us tonight to get out.
Right. Mr. Tom, I promise we do. Yeah, we do a much better job, and we're much more professional, and we have our act together. But tonight, just technology, and I have dropped everything in sight. And my phone's fallen off the stand twice, and this is not the phone I usually stream from. And so, anyway, it's the joys of live streaming.
Oh yes. Oh
have just
yes.
all decided to shower down upon me in one stream. Um,
You really
it's
did miss that, April.
yeah,
It's worth
my
rewinding for.
goodness.
Uh,
But yeah, so anyway, if you're looking for some laughs, I definitely dropped a whole lot of stuff early in the stream, and like I said, my phone fell off the stand a couple of times. But here we are. We've almost got this thing wrapped up. But again, we appreciate all y'all. Thank you for being here. Big shout
Absolutely.
out to Stream Replay. If you watch on the replay, leave us a comment. Let us know you watch. Because we thank
Yeah.
you and we appreciate your support. And lots of folks watch on the replay because we see our stats, and lots of folks watching Ghost Mode too. I know everybody's got, they may have us going on in the background, and may have something else been going on, but just say hi. I know sometimes it's tough, and because you hate to not greet everybody, because if you drop into a chat and you say hi and everybody's like, oh hey, then they at you, and then you feel bad because you're like, man, I got stuff going on, and I hope people don't think I'm rude for not adding them back, mentioning them back via comment, and so anyway, but just drop in and say hi if you're ever here. Thanks to our channel members. We appreciate the additional support. Yeah, but no swear words were dropped. Yeah, I think it
That's
dropped.
right.
I think in the words I may have had a dad gum or something like that. But yeah, exactly. We are family friendly, which is one of the selling points of our channel, and
We
something that
are.
we
We
really
are.
pride ourselves in. But thanks to everybody for being here. Where you're ghost watching on your Run Team Replay, thank you for being here. If you haven't already, check out the live place. Big shout out to Dean for maintaining the liveplace.com for family friendly live streams. um, but thanks to Dean. Check out Dean's YouTube channels, Dreamers Empire
Yeah.
and the live place if you haven't already.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Dean, for maintaining that family friendly live stream. Theliveplace.com. TubeBuddy, if you're a YouTube creator looking to grow your channel, check out TubeBuddy. It's free. If you have under 1,000 subs, it's discounted. It's a great tool for tracking viewing trends, suggested keywords for titles and tags. So it helps you track channel data that'll help you grow your channel. The basic version is free. If you are interested in it, use our link in the description below, and it'll give us both a free month. Check out Stickermule if you haven't already. If you want buttons, buttons, stickers, magnets, keychains, pins, so on and so forth. Check out Stickermule. Use our link in the description below. We both get a $10 credit for a future order. Let's see. Dates have been announced for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. I'm sure Mom already mentioned that. Let's see. Flower and Garden Festival, I believe, wrapped up, June 2nd? And so Food and Wine starts August 28th and will run through November 22nd, we think. But anyway, Disney Starlight Parade, July 20th. Thrilled out of our minds about that. And then VIP Pass Holder Days runs till the 31st of July. But thanks to everybody for being here. I know it's been a bit of a struggle for me tonight. Hopefully all of you are doing well and not dropping things. And and fighting technology this evening. Hopefully all of you are doing well. We go live every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock p.m. Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. Be sure to join us live or watch on the replay. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you get notifications when we go live. Check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and X. If you want to reach out to us directly, send us a direct message at the Hitchhiking Bones on Instagram via direct message, or email us at thehitchhikingbones@gmail.com. So direct message on Instagram or email us at thehitchhikingbones@gmail.com. Anything else you want to mention, Mom?
Well, I did want to mention, since we had a couple of people come in, Jonathan Chung is 100% right. Our great ghost coast there. The only thing you need to know is that we are going to interview Tom Nappy, who is a Disney legend, hired by Walt to play Tom Sawyer on Tom Sawyer Island in Disneyland.
That's the big news of the evening.
That's the big news of the evening, and we could not be more excited.
Yeah.
You guys are going to have to, help me to just pull me back down to earth.
Yeah.
but we're pretty excited about it. So y'all, in the coming days, you will see it plastered all over our social media numerous times, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
So when we get a date, we're working on a date with Tom, a date that he can come on. But excited does not even touch it for me. So we're really
not
excited
remotely
about that.
So yeah, we're absolutely thrilled. Thanks to everybody for being here. I got all the names I could based off of how far back I could scroll. But thanks to, as always, to join Aunt Susan, T. McNeil, J&N Travels, Jason Thibodeau, Brian Eisenhart, Jonathan Chung, Dave Stragan, Robert Sprite, Dean the Turkey Leicester, Adventures by D, Lucy Grace 56, Not So Famous Animations, Mike Beachman, Christian Sanchez, Hatbox Ghost, and April Etheridge. April says, looking forward to the interview. I saw Pete on Josh's stream a few days ago talking about it. So yeah, we're very excited to have Mr. Nabby on and look forward to talking with him. Again, if you rewind to 2019 when we started our channel, if you told me at some point we're going to have a Disney legend on, I'd been like, what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But here we are, and we're incredibly thankful and appreciative, to Mr. Nabby and him graciously accepting our invitation. So
very kind of him. Very kind of him.
So we're going to do our homework.
The lesson is it never hurts to ask, y'all.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to do our homework. We're going to give this our best effort. I'm going to try not to drop a bunch of stuff. Hopefully, between here and there, I can get my actual backdrop going. Because there's nothing wrong with a brick wall, but my normal backdrop is much cooler than that. And so hopefully, I can get that put back on my desk shortly. Anything else, Mom?
I just say, I hope you have a wonderful Flag Day, and again, happy 250th anniversary to our fantastic United States Army. Go Army! I am a proud veteran's daughter of World War II, and have numerous family members who are also in the Army. So we're just kind of prejudiced around here.
Yeah.
We love all of our service members, but again, I hope you guys had a great Flag Day.
And happy Father's Day as well.
Celebrated a lot this weekend.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Yeah, I was thankful to spend some time with, Mom and Dad on Sunday. Obviously always thankful to, I work remotely. And so I'm always thankful to be able to spend as much time as I get to spend with my boys.
Thanks, Jason.
They love their daddy. I love them. It's hard to put into words, as a kid, watching Finding Nemo, it's just, it's a cute story, but if I can't imagine ever losing my boys, and I would absolutely do everything in my power, cross the ocean, talk to sharks, I would do everything in my power to be reunited with my boys. And so they're precious to me. And I hope that they, I hope, I try to love them every day, and I hope they understand how much I love them. My dad has been an excellent role model for me, and the way that a Christian man should lead his family. And so I'm incredibly appreciative to have the opportunity to be the father to two amazing boys. And so, my dad has always worked incredibly hard to provide for our family and look at us, not just putting food on the table, but, emotionally, mentally, doing everything he can to set us up for success. He's self sacrificial. He is encouraging. Um, he works. His work ethic is just incredible. I mean, it always has been. And you can depend on my dad. He's a great friend. He's a loyal and he's a great friend, and and so he's been an excellent role model for me in my life. And taking us to Disney. That's whenever he hasn't been into the parks as much, for different reasons in the last few years, but last year, whenever we had the majority of our family there together at the Magic Kingdom one day, was truly special. And that effect, going through the tap styles, used to be turnstiles, but going through the tap styles these days, I can think back to those trips that we took, and we really started going, pretty frequently when I was in high school. But I can think back to those trips and going through the turnstile. My dad's pretty serious, for the most part. But whenever he'd go through the tap styles or turnstiles, it's like, he's like a kid again. We jokingly referred to him as GI Jeff because his pace was just he was like a drill instructor. We had to maximize our time every day in the parks, from rope drop to kiss goodnight in every single park. We got to cover as much ground as physically possible and do as much as we can. And
no
so
slackers, no
dilly dallying. There's a funny sign in the Backlot Express close to the bathrooms that I took a picture of on the trip last year. That I can't remember. It says something like "no slacking" or something like that. And I was like, "This is my dad to a T." But this sounds like one of Dad's sayings, dilly dallying. I can't stand dilly dallying. Is one of Dad's quotes. But going through those tap styles, and it's like Dad kind of became a kid again, which is unique to see because he is so serious, and so it was always a lot of fun, to experience Disney with my dad, and just the joy, and how he could let loose and have some fun, and so anyway, I love you, Dad. Thanks for everything. But yeah, happy Father's Day. If you got a good one, make sure you reach out and let them know you love them.
Absolutely.
And obviously, mom and I are Christians, so even if you don't have a good relationship with your earthly father, hopefully you have a relationship with your heavenly Father. And so, but yeah, happy Father's Day to everybody.
Absolutely.
Big shout out. So I love my boys. I love my dad. I love my brothers. And so happy Father's Day. Big shout out to my older brother and his crew. Love Steven and all the work that he does to support his family.
Yeah. Good night, Jerry.
Thanks, Jerry.
We appreciate you guys so much for hanging in there with us. It's been almost 3 hours.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you hanging in there with us.
We did go a little over the minute and a half. It's almost been a glorious 3-hour finale.
Yeah. So we appreciate you and hope that you have a fantastic week, guys. Looking forward to bringing you some more information on our big interview with Disney legend Tom Nabby in the near future. And we'll see you, same time next week. We do also have a Disney trip coming up. We'll get those dates nailed down for you and let you know. I think William and I are actually going to be able to go into the parks together, and just the two of us. So we'll do some live streaming and, some writing and just kind of have a good time. So we're looking forward to that. And we'll let you know about the dates on that when we get those dates firmed up. So,
thanks, Tina.
anything else? I think we're good. I think we're good.
Yeah,
thanks to our channel members and our ghost hosts.
Those moderators. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all. Have a great night. Have a good week. Send us an email if you have any comments or questions about anything in the show tonight, about the closures. I know we had, several people come in and, just not happy about some of it, but I think we're going to do it, guys. So, we'll just have to buckle our seatbelts and hang on. And, we'll see how it all washes out, just like we always do.
Yep.
At the Hitchhiking Bones YouTube channel, there is always room for one more. So please hurry back.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks so much, guys. So
thanks, y'all.
Looking forward to reviewing Tom Nabby coming up.
Have a great week, y'all. See you next Tuesday.